Pete Mackanin the manager, Ralph, next year? No? Probably, but it's Tommy's boy. Better be careful. The manager, Ralph, next year? No? Probably, but it's Tommy's boy. Better be careful. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the RunDown on a2dradio.com. Live in the BMW of Atlantic City studios, Zach Burr with Ralph Dellavecchio. BMW of Atlantic City. Go to bmwofatlanticcity.com. It's easy to get 2 minutes off of exit 37 of the Parkway. If you've ever wanted the ultimate driving experience, that's BMW of Atlantic City, 6037 on the Black Horse Pike. Egg Harbor Township, 609-568-9200. Stop laughing, Ralph. I know, there's echoes in our headsets. I'm not sure why. But there is. We'll deal with it. Just like we're dealing with this Phillies disappointment that's just seems to get worse and worse by the day. I know we just had a good series in Seattle. Comeback win. You know, King Felix obviously isn't,
Yeah, it was the second start coming off the DL, too.
Yeah, he's not quite back to form. That's what happens when you throw 250 innings for, 7 consecutive years. Or he's like not even 30 yet, or like barely 30. He's been in the league for a decade. And, we get a break not getting him at top form. I mean, we were able to sweep there was a series out in Seattle that
much needed 2 wins though.
They're talented, but they've just been struggling this year with injuries and stuff like that. So we got a break out there, and still hasn't changed the fact that the entire first half has been a complete disappointment. And I didn't expect this to be a good team coming into the year. Didn't expect this to be a contending team, but I said, okay, 78 to 80 wins. I mean, if we overachieve a little bit, 80 wins isn't out of the question.
Yeah.
We're not even going to come anywhere close to that number. Now I feel embarrassed to have even talked about 80 wins.
And before the season, you sat here saying that 80 wins would be good for the Phillies.
Well, yeah.
It would be something.
Of course it would have been good.
And now we're sitting here. Oh, man.
But, I mean, I feel embarrassed. I feel embarrassed to even have thought that this team was capable of winning that. This team...
They get one win out of every week.
I feel like this Lehigh Valley team could beat them right now. We've got 5 All-Stars on the Iron Pigs.
What was it last year they played that showcase game? Was it Lehigh Valley versus the Phillies?
I don't know. Was that what happened?
Yeah.
I wasn't tuned into that one, let me tell you. I'm going to see the Reading team in Trenton on July 4th, Tuesday night, for fireworks and all that, and I figured it's a good night to go to the Trenton game, 20 minutes from my house. They're playing the Phillies Reading affiliate, so, that's
might as well go.
You can't miss, right? $10 tickets.
See the young guys right away in the system.
Unfortunately, they just called up Kingery. I wanted to see Kingery, but now he's with AAA.
Yeah.
And he's tearing it up there, too. It hasn't slowed him down at all.
3 home runs in 4 games.
Yeah, I know.
That's 21 on the year.
Does this not play into my theory? We've had this conversation,
and the
right?
crazy thing is that he's not a power hitter. He claims he's not a power hitter.
No, but he could, listen, he could turn into one of everybody in Major League Baseball nowadays. Like, if you want to be a superstar, you got to, at least be able to touch the 20 home run number. And, who knows what a guy is until, they, as a prospect, until they have a couple years and they grow. And he came out of college. This is now his third professional season or whatever. Maybe he is a guy that could come up into the big leagues and hit 20 home runs. 25 home runs.
Those would be somebody hitting the ball.
I know he's not a big guy or necessarily a power hitter, but, I mean, Jose Altuve hit 20 home runs a year ago.
Yeah.
For God's sakes. Maybe we've lucked out with a kid like that, and he's going to grow into a future player for us. We need some luck because J.P. Crawford's still struggling. You don't know what his future could be like. All I know, though, is there's still 5 All-Stars at the AAA level, and none of them, I don't know if this was by design. Maybe they wanted them to play at the AAA level. Have that success, get to play in that All-Star game. Maybe we'll see him up a week after the All-Star break. I don't know. I hope so. But there's really no excuse in my mind why some of these guys aren't up already. We're watching this bullshit.
They're riding away, dude. I'm just keep on saying until they're all called up. They're just riding away down there.
I don't know if they're riding away, but it's definitely a waste of time.
It is.
What's the point of them being down there?
I'm telling you, Zach, you're not going to see him until they're 25 years old.
Oh, stop. This is your theory with guys like Mickey Moniak. Like, you don't. Mickey Moniak's 19.
I know.
You have no clue. Give him at the end of next year, we'll talk more about what Mickey Moniak's future could be. I know he's got a good name, okay?
Yeah.
It's
a baseball name.
I buy into the theory that seems to get floated around this station a little bit. We talked about it a lot during the draft, the NFL draft. That's a good name, Mickey Moniak. It's a good baseball name. The conversation today surrounding not only the Phillies' struggles, but what type of changes are needed for this organization going forward, because there's no way this team that's on pace right now to be the worst team in baseball this year has no – I know we're not a good team, but we have no business being the worst team in baseball. That's just a disgrace. That's embarrassing going into this year looking at what this team – we'll take a little bit of a step forward from last year. No, we're going to be the worst team in baseball.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, I think the biggest changes take Pete Mackanin out of the equation. You need a bullpen. The bullpen has been terrible this entire year.
Outside of Neshek, who can't pitch more than 2/3 of an inning at a time. For God's sakes.
Seriously. I mean, how many times have the Phillies had the lead going into the 7th, 8th inning and then just blow it because of the bullpen? They can't close anything down.
They need some big league arms.
They had that 5-0 lead. They had a 5-0 lead, and they blew that. The bullpen blew it.
I know. McClure definitely is going to go. That's not even, he needs to go now.
He needs to go now.
He needed to go 2 months ago. I don't know why he's still in there. He needed to go at the end of April. He needed to go, what is it, when who did he come out and criticize? Cameron Rupp or one of the catchers. He said he needed to call I should probably call pitches, or something like that. Made some type of smart-ass comment in the media, like Miguel Montero. How about that? You see that? It was crazy when Chicago designated for assignment for criticizing the pitching staff. That's what happens when you're a third-string catcher, okay? And Bob McClure might
as well. 1 Sunday out of the month and you blew it. Good job, bud.
The day game after the night game. Maybe a couple more because it's Chicago. There's a couple more day games. But McClure is pretty much my definition of a third-string pitching coach. Why is he even a pitching coach? Is he going to get another job after this? After the job he did here, no way he's getting a job.
Yeah, with the Trenton Thunder.
Yeah, probably. With the,
He'll go down to Double-A.
I'll see him there July 4th. He'll be fired tomorrow, hopefully.
I'll be with the Independent League.
Exactly. I'll see him there by July 4th. Yeah. He needs to go. I don't know if this is all Mackanin's fault. I like Pete Mackanin as a person.
Me too, I do.
I like Pete Mackanin, personality-wise, as a manager. I just don't know how much of a downward turn this season has taken, especially right after you gave him that extension.
Yeah.
And what was the extension really? It wasn't like it forced you in anything. They could still realistically, it's only a commitment for one more year next year. There's an option for the year after that, but it's only a commitment for one more year. Everybody gets fired with a year left on their deal. So realistically, it's not like they have to commit to him the next year if they don't like him as an option. I don't know what to think of it. I don't want to say the team's quit, but they haven't looked good.
No.
And that, at some point that has to reflect Mackanin. That's a reflection of what the manager is and I
everything
guess the
falls on him.
relationships he has in that clubhouse. I don't think it's all his fault. Obviously, there's not as much here talent-wise as maybe we hope. We hope we could get okay seasons out of guys like Michael Saunders. We hope Howie Kendrick could be productive. Howie Kendrick hasn't been bad when he's been on the field, but how often has he been on the field? He's been hurt. Every time you blink and he's
on the DL,
Michael Saunders has already been designated for assignment, so that little experiment, hoping that we could. He had 25 homers or whatever it was a year ago. Maybe we'll get something out of him. That
went down the chute.
That went down. Exactly. That went down the chute real quick. And instead of watching a guy like Rhys Hoskins, who leads AAA ball and home runs with 19, instead of watching him, or a guy like
let's just
Dylan
bring
Cousins,
everybody up.
I've got to watch.
It's not
Ty
like we're
Kelly.
winning the World Series this year, even making the playoffs.
I've got to
bring everybody up.
I've got to watch Ty Kelly steal at bats and hit home runs off of Felix Hernandez over Rhys Hoskins or Dylan Cousins or guys like that up here. Jorge Alfaro isn't up here. He's one of the 5 All-Stars down for the AAA team, and I still got Andrew Knapp stealing at bats. Listen, I like Knapp. A good story. I get it. Made the team out of spring training.
Yeah.
Is there a reason Jorge Alfaro can't catch 2 days a week? The same, the 2 days a week that Andrew Knapp's catching, I want Jorge Alfaro catching. I just don't get any of it.
Yeah, Knapp's catching 1 day a week.
It's gotten this embarrassing.
Yeah, it has.
And we're still having the conversation.
And then the crazy thing is that they started off hot and then it just went downhill.
We started off okay. I don't know if we were hot, but we started off okay. Jeremy Hellickson had an ERA under 2 through most of April. Remember the game we were at on the day we were at the NFL draft? We went to
the
Phillies
Miami
game
Marlins
earlier
game,
that
yeah.
day. Hellickson was pitching with, I don't know what his ERA was, like 1.92 or something like that. Still really good at the moment. And, we're hoping he could at least become a trade chip or something halfway through the season.
Well,
And
that blew up
then
in
he
front
got
of our
hurt,
faces.
and things like that have happened since then. Hellickson, Nola, guys, it wasn't supposed to be the worst team in baseball. Nola's looked good at times. I've been impressed with Jake Pavetta.
He just had, 7 innings, right?
Who, Nola?
Yeah.
Yeah, Nola bounced back, had a good start this last time.
Yeah.
Pavetta had 3 really good starts, then had a bad start. I think Pavetta's got 3 big league pitches. Good fastball, high 90s. He's got 2 breaking balls, the changeup. I think he has 3 big league pitches, which gives him potential to be a pretty good starter in this league. 3 really good starts, but then you see him get hit around last time out. So you just don't know what to make of it.
Yeah.
I hope that McClure's part of the problem. And,
I hope he is too.
But who do you move on to?
Yeah.
Who do you move on to where it's guaranteed that you bring that guy in and all of a sudden it improves the pitching staff?
Bring in Greg Maddux.
Jesus. Yeah, I'm bringing in Greg Maddux to be we're bringing in Kurt Schilling.
Yeah.
He needs something to do now that ESPN fired him.
Imagine that if they signed Kurt Schilling.
Kurt Schilling's not going to be the pitching coach here. Kurt Schilling's a complete jackass.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, I think I love Kurt Schilling. I've always thought Kurt was good. I've always, good analysis guy when he was with ESPN and guys like that, because he didn't care about the politics. Like, he was going to call it like it was, and it wasn't going to matter. But he's not going to be the pitching coach here. That's that's just being funny. But who do you realistically replace these guys with? If you fire McCann, who are you replacing him with?
Yeah,
Is
I
Mickey
can't think of
Morandini the new manager? I'll take Mickey. You know what? What the hell? Mickey managed he managed the Double-A team, the Triple-A team for a little bit, right? Or the Single-A team. But he has some minor league experience. Mickey might be a future manager in the game. Maybe a little early for him to be that guy, but what the hell? We're not going anywhere anyway. Let him grow with those guys. Yeah. I've heard the name Dusty Worthen thrown around. He's the guy that's managing the Triple-A team as we speak. He's managed multiple levels of the minor league system.
You hire him, and then you bring all the young kids up.
And he's managed the young kids. So the idea could be maybe, and even if he's not the long-term answer, he's here.
You bring all 5 up next year.
Bring all 5 young kids up, and the manager's with that, right? Yeah. He's the part of that package.
The 2-for-1 deal.
I'm not opposed to any of that.
Yeah.
But, the question is, who do you replace him with? A guy like Ron Washington's out there, coaching third base now, for the Braves or whatever it is.
He is coaching third base
now. He's obviously taken the Rangers to the World Series, but he's a guy that's, 60-plus years old. Are you going to look at a guy like that? I might rather go with a guy like Mickey Morandini or Dusty Worthen than Ron Washington or retread.
Yeah. What about Mike Schmidt?
Ron Gardenhire. No, Mike Schmidt's. He's got no interest in that role. Are you kidding me? Mike Schmidt's, he's managing his winery or whatever the hell it is that he runs. He's not interested in managing this baseball team.
It's only fantasy. Only fantasy.
A guy like Ron Gardenhire is the bench coach for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Again, though, he's 60-plus years old. I like Ron Gardenhire. Matt Klentak, though, is a big analytics guy. I don't think Ron Gardenhire at 60-plus years of age is going to come around the analytics anytime soon. I might just want to go with Morandini or Worthen or whoever. Yeah. Not going to go with a retread like Gardenhire, even though the Diamondbacks are obviously having a nice year. So there's a lot that goes into that. Yeah, I would love to just move on from guys, but who do you replace them with?
Yeah. There's nobody out there that catches you.
I'm not worried about McClure. Tommy can replace McClure at this point. You could replace McClure. McClure's not going to be hard to replace. Yeah. But if you're going to fire Mackanin, you can't just fire Mackanin and then we're firing him to promote Larry Boa for a year. If you're there better be a reason behind firing him. There better be a name you're bringing in. So, we're going to continue to talk throughout the show about the first half, how poor it's been, whether McCannon's now officially on the hot seat, even though he had the extension. Other possible organizational changes needed. I think it's too early to probably talk about front office changes or anything like that. That's probably silly. You're giving up on something before you ever got started. Yeah. And for a city that's finally started to accept the process, as we'd like to call it, it'd be too early to give up on that. We've accepted it with the NBA, with the Sixers, who now finally look good. It's the one good thing we could talk about in this city, right? Yeah. Until Eagles training camp starts, and then we'll talk about
in August, right?
Unrealistic expectations with the Eagles and how they're going to the Super Bowl, and Carson Wentz will be the MVP, and all that good talk that we have every year. Me and you had a Sam Bradford for MVP conversation a couple years back. You remember? That was your bold. It was your bold prediction. It's how crazy we get during football season, Ralph.
Goddamn lazy eye again,
It's
man.
the only time that we get completely just out there with like we're completely
It's the best
illogical.
time of the year.
We're completely illogical. I want to have an interesting conversation at some point as far as comparing this Phillies team to other bad Phillies teams because obviously, we've lost more games than any team in the history of Major League Baseball. Now, that says more about like the 20s, 30s, and 40s that were just historically bad. And that somehow we still, ended up.
The 30s and 40s were bad for the Phillies.
Two of the worst decades for any team in Major League history.
Like, I mean, like, terrible.
Win-loss percentage go, but that's because the Philadelphia Athletics were here.
Yeah.
Dominating Philadelphia. And then, for whatever reason, the losers of the city, the Phillies, we ended up being able to, stay in Philly as the Athletics moved other cities, Kansas City and then to Oakland. And, so, that win-loss record, the 10,000 losses is kind of skewed a little bit because we had two really, really bad decades. Mm-hmm. But as far as teams that we've seen, and Tommy, maybe you could chip in on this a little bit if you wanted to, because teams you've seen, we've both seen bad eras of Phillies baseball. I lived through the late 90s, which at times was really bad. Tommy, you lived through the late 80s, which at times was really bad. Have conversations comparing this team to any of those teams. I know, some of the 98 team was pretty bad. The 99 team was pretty bad. But the way I look at it, for me, guys like Kurt Schilling were still on that team.
Yeah.
He was still a legitimate ace. We don't have a name like a Kurt Schilling on this team, a star like that. Scott Rowland.
Do we even have an ace?
No, probably not. No.
Yeah.
No, not
what is an ace?
Technically not. On this team,
what is an ace?
Nola's our best pitcher at the moment. No, I mean we don't really have an ace. Scott Rowland was a young up and coming superstar at that time. Rowland was fun to watch.
Yeah.
Defensively was just outstanding. Made unbelievable plays at third base. Had a guy like Abreu, who, as much as I hate Bobby Abreu, at least at that time was he was hitting 320 and stuff like that, and he was young and. It was interesting to watch names like that. Glanville played a Gold Glove center field. You had some names that I think were at least more entertaining and more, I guess more star-worthy than names on this team.
Mm-hmm.
So, what team's worse? Is this team worse, or is a team like those late 90s teams with Terry Francona worse? Those late 80s teams were pretty bad.
Pretty bad.
Right after Schmidt retired.
It all went downhill.
Before you caught lightning in a bottle with the 93 team.
Yeah.
But I look at the 90s teams, and as much as I mentioned names like Rowland and Schilling, you also had names like Desi Relaford on that team.
Yeah.
Desi Relaford was just terrible. That was really.
He was shit in a can too.
He was bad. I complain about Freddie Galvis, but I mean, God, at least Desi Relaford's not our starting shortstop anymore. Yeah, there was a guy, Mark Lewis, at one point was our starting second baseman. I remember being super young, like 4 years old, when he was our starting second baseman. He was dog shit. Lewis stunk. I remember we lost a game one day. There was a ground ball to Lewis at second base, and he got the ball stuck in his glove. He couldn't get it out, so the winning run scored for whoever we were playing. Like, I always remember that as a little kid. Like, Mark Lewis just terrible. Yeah. Like, probably wasn't going to play on any other team in baseball, but he played for the Phillies that year. Chad Oj was, was starting on this team one year. We had Robert Person was our opening day starter, in 2002 or whatever it was. So I want to have a fun little conversation, fun little comparison. I guess you call it a game or whatever, comparing this team to those teams.
Yeah.
Which teams were worse? What's your, growing up watching the Phillies, what was your
So I was born in 96, so I call it, Rowland, Abreu. What
was your, worst Phillies memory ever, as far as, the worst team you could remember? Do you remember those, late 90s, early 2000s teams?
So, I was born in 96, so, basically.
So you're not going to remember any of that.
I was born when they were starting to get good. I saw, Scott Rowland play for the Phillies with Bobby Abreu. Then we had David Bell at third base. David Bell. David Bell. Yep.
The one thing
Mike Lieberthal was the catcher that one. Yep.
Exactly.
Then we got, when was it, 2004, right? We got Jim Thome, right?
2003 we got.
Yeah,
that's disgraceful. You don't know that. Come on, Ralph. 2003, we signed him as a free agent that offseason in 2002, that winter. It was a big deal, Ed Wade finally did something.
Yeah.
The king of the no move. Never did anything. Ed Wade could scout and draft his ass off, but we were, instead of ever trading, we never did anything significant with Ed Wade. You finally signed Thome, but before that we were trading for guys like Jeremy Giambi at the deadline.
Oh my God, yeah.
We'd sign guys like Andy Ashby. I remember when we signed Andy Ashby before like the 2000 season. That was supposed to be like a big deal. You're supposed to improve our rotation. I think he came over here from like San Diego or whatever the hell it was. Ridiculous. Like Ed Wade. Yeah, that was his moves in the that was his off seasons. So we finally signed Tomey in 03. It was a big deal, Ralph. Can't confuse that with 04. 04 is when the new ballpark opened.
Yeah. 100%.
And he was supposed to be like the guy carrying.
And we played
I
think the first game at Citizens Bank Park was against the Cincinnati Reds.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
And it was raining, and I remember that was.
I think we lost that game
I
too.
came home. Yeah, we did. Unfortunately, I came home early from school to watch us lose disappointingly in the rain to the Cincinnati Reds.
And Ken Griffey Jr. was still on the team too. The sweetest swing of all baseball
he had
too.
a home run in that game.
He has the sweetest swing, man.
Yeah, he's the reason he was 99.8% of the vote when he went into the Hall of Fame. Come on, I mean they've got a statue out in Seattle now.
Yeah.
Forget about the sweetest swing. He was the face of baseball in the 90s.
He was.
He was that guy. I mean, breaking news. Is that what we've got? Breaking news.
Yeah, you got me?
I got you. Breaking news.
According to Jim Salisbury, Nick Williams has been called up to the Phillies.
Oh, well, there you go. Look, they're listening. Attaboy, Clentak.
Finally.
Way to listen, and actually.
Finally, somebody's up.
How long have you guys been preaching it on AM and the PM? I know you guys have had a couple shows based around it.
How long I've been preaching on AM and the PM, or how long I've been preaching it, period?
Are they off tonight?
Who?
No.
The Phillies.
Triple A?
Oh, yeah, they play in New York tonight, don't they?
Yeah.
Against
depending on where he's coming from,
he might play tonight.
He could play tonight. He could get there.
Stick him in the lineup.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, stick him.
Why
in the
not?
lineup.
Yeah, I mean exactly. I'd rather have him in the lineup over Ty Kelly.
Have anybody over
Ty
Kelly.
Let's hope something doesn't happen to him like happened to Fowler for the Yankees. Did you guys see that?
Nah.
Fowler, their top prospect, Dustin Fowler, an outfielder. They called up. It was his major league debut last night in right field. Top of the first inning. He ruptured his patella tendon running into the outfield fence trying to make a play in foul territory. He's going to miss the rest of the season. Top of the first
I did
inning.
see that. Yeah, I did see that.
Who was this? I didn't pay.
Dustin Fowler, one of the Yankees' top
Dustin
prospects.
Fowler, yeah, his first play. Yeah,
top
first
of the first
game.
inning, his major league debut, and he ruptured his patella tendon running into the outfield fence.
Yeah, because, dude, I mean, watching it last night, it's like he's never played on a baseball field before. Like, he went, crashing.
Yeah.
Like full steam ahead,
it's like
I'm playing in,
oh, shit, a fence.
I'm playing on, 2.8 acres, and I can just keep on running. There's nothing going to knock me down.
AAA stadiums have more foul territory than this. Damn. I maybe should have, measured this out before we started the game.
It's like the Coliseum. There's just so much foul territory,
well,
and I worry about the fence.
And you know what that is?
Yeah,
that's a young kid with, all this adrenaline, major league debut. You think you can run through a brick wall at that point.
Aaron Judge gets the off day.
He's not even worried about a fence at that point. Adrenaline's pumping. It's your major league debut. You're going to go make a play. You get the center stage now. The cameras are on you, and you're not even thinking much about it. You're just going to go run through a fence and make a play, and now.
So what does it take to get Aaron Judge on this team?
Stop it. But Aaron Judge is Aaron Judge was the 32nd pick in the draft.
Yeah.
You know how many teams passed on Aaron Judge?
Yeah. Now look at him.
Exactly. Because why? Because he was a college kid that was unconventional. Oh well, yeah. He's pretty big for a baseball player. 6'8", 260. I don't know about this kid. There's a lot of red flags here.
Why do you think the
kid
Yankees
can
are
hit
so
a ball
great?
500 fucking feet, and we're over here worried about red flags of him coming out of college.
Yeah.
It's a 32 team or 30.
I hate to say, but that's why the Yankees are so good.
Ends up being the 32nd pick in the draft.
Yeah.
How many teams probably wish they took him in the top 10?
I know the Phillies did.
I know the Phillies probably wish they took him that year.
What draft was that?
That might have been the year we took J.P. Crawford, which at the time Crawford seemed like the good pick.
Yeah.
And for a while Crawford
still
seemed like a good pick. It might still end up being a good pick. He's 21 years old. I know he's hitting under the Mendoza line in AAA. Tommy, I know me and you had a conversation on a couple weeks back. He's not even playing every day now down in AAA. To give up on the kid when he's 21 years old, this is a little ridiculous.
It's completely ridiculous. And the things I hear about him and the things I hear about people talking about him, he can't play baseball anymore. The entire organization have given up on J.P. Crawford because he struggled in Major League Baseball. Granted, it's AAA. It's still Major League Baseball, essentially, right? Mm-hmm. At Big League Baseball, he struggled. Okay, the youngest prospect, the youngest guy in AAA has struggled.
Yeah.
Oh God! So now we're not going to let him get out of this slump. We're going to make him think more about it,
Yeah.
and we're not going to play him every day. And we're going to do this to him or that to him. That's not how you treat your top prospect of your organization. That's not how you treat him at all.
Yeah.
And whoever's running shit down there, and it's more reason why I'm ready to fire Matt
Who's the
Clintack.
director of the minor leagues?
I'm ready to fire Matt Clintack.
Well, I
You
mean,
guys think I'm crazy? I'm ready to fire his ass too. He can take a walk.
how about all of the people that are like, you got directors of minor leagues, you got director of, who's running all that? I have a feeling Clintack's just an analytics guy. Like, I have a feeling there's a lot of baseball people.
And it still doesn't work like that,
running
dude.
things too. You know what I mean? So, like, I don't think you can just clean house on everybody. You got to pick and choose the people to part ways from. I don't like, and I think this is maybe a problem throughout Major League Baseball with most minor league systems, or a lot of minor league systems at least. I hate this philosophy. Tom, me and you have had a conversation about this multiple times. Ralph, me and you have talked about it. This is it's so stupid. It's like they overthink it constantly. If a guy can play, a guy can play. Like this Kingery thing. The argument for why we couldn't call him up to the major leagues 3 weeks ago is because he hadn't had any at-bats at the AAA level yet. Because, AAA pitching is a lot different than the AA. Now he's up here to AAA, and there's no difference.
He's got 3 home runs in 4 games.
It's no different than what the hell he was doing in AA.
Yeah.
The guy's doing the same damn thing. So you call him up to the big leagues, and what ends up happening is if a guy can play, a guy can play, okay? Dominic Brown didn't flake out because, we called him up too early or we didn't give him enough of a chance here or this or that. Dominic Brown just flaked out because he flat out can't play.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why that happened.
Now he's in the AAA with the Chicago White Sox.
Okay, Byron Buxton right now looks like a bust out in Minnesota. Byron Buxton right now, it's not that he came up too early or anything. They can send him down to AAA all they want. That's not going to help anything. The guy can either play or he can't.
The guy's fielding is amazing, but his hitting is
amazing.
His hitting is atrocious.
It's the line for Major League. He can run like Mays, but he hits like shit.
Yeah,
he hits like shit, and that might never change. And they can send it down to AAA all they want and try to claim he's not ready. But the bottom line is either the kid can play or he can't, and he's going to adjust to big league pitching or he won't. There's not any amount of time down in the minor leagues that's going to help that out. So call a kid up, let him get it, go through his growing pains in the big league. If he adjusts, and you find out what a kid's made of.
Like, how do you know what a kid's made of in AA and AAA? You can't. You
Because
don't know
they
until you bring it up.
And they all want to sit here and make it into this whole process, and let's overthink it. Call the kid up. You see what he's made of. If he struggles, then everybody panics. Oh, my God, he struggled. Now we got to send him back down to AAA because we'll ruin his confidence. The only way his confidence gets ruined is if he doesn't have the mental ability to play at this level anyway, okay?
Yeah.
That's the only way your confidence gets ruined is if you don't have the ability to put all that behind you, make the adjustments you need, keep grinding and working hard, moving forward, and figure it out. Anthony Rizzo looked like dog shit his first few weeks up with the San Diego Padres.
Yeah.
They sent him back down. They give up on what happened. They trade him to Chicago for Andrew Kashner. Who got the better end of that deal?
Yeah.
I know Kashner's an okay pitcher, but, Rizzo's an MVP candidate. Okay, hitting 35 homers a year for the Cubs. Okay, the leader of that team in a lot of ways, the heart and soul for that team, right? We talked about the naked speeches that were apparently going on in that clubhouse last year from him. Okay, that's the leader of that team. That's what's going on in that clubhouse.
Put him in a leadoff hole, too.
He was hitting 111 when San Diego sent him back down his rookie year, 2009 or whatever the hell it was, when they called him up initially. 2011, whatever it was. Hitting 111, he had like one homer. Was striking out a ton, then they sent him down. Then he comes up the next year with the Cubs. What happens? Probably what anybody with a brain could actually predict was going to happen. He figured it out, and he started showing signs of looking like a real superstar, and now he is a superstar.
Yeah. And they got the 1-2 punch out in Chicago, too, with him and Chris Bryant. So
Chris Bryant comes up. Chris Bryant tore up spring training a year after, he was drafted.
Yeah.
They kept him down there for business, right? That was what all that nonsense was. This is what they did, and this is the other side. They claim, somebody's not ready, and a lot of times, 9 times out of 10, it's just because you want to keep somebody down for a few weeks longer, so that way you can get an extra year of arbitration eligibility.
Yeah.
Which I still think is the dumbest thing ever when you're playing in a market like Philadelphia, when we're going to have a $200 million payroll at some point here in 5 or 6 years, and we're worried about an extra year of arbitration eligibility. Like if somebody becomes a superstar, we're not going to sign them long-term to a big contract 3 or 4 years into their career anyway.
Yeah.
We're never going to get to that extra year of arbitration eligibility. It'll never matter to begin with. Because smart baseball is you lock a guy up to an 8-year deal 3 years into his career now, rather than waiting a full 6 years like we did with Ryan Howard, and then you lock him up to the big deal 3 years after you should have.
Yeah.
Smart baseball. At least that's what Clintack's supposed to be doing. Once we get
take
these
a hike
guys
too.
developed, he's supposed to be that guy that can sign into the smart money and all this, and therefore it allow more money to sign guys like Machado and Harper and all that. And is that supposed to be the plan, or is that just my fantasy? Is that what goes on in my head?
I'll take Harper and Machado.
Well, yeah, I don't think you're going to get both, but you sign one. I think they're both going to be free agents in 2018.
Who would you want, though?
I'll take Machado. I think Manny Machado is a fucking stud.
Yeah.
I love that kid.
Move Franco over to first base. JP at
I'll
shortstop.
move Franco out of town if I have to. Drive him to the airport. I know, Tommy, you still like Franco. You think it's too early to give up on him, too, right?
Yeah, it's the same thing with any other guy. I mean, I'm not in love with Franco or the way
I
he
don't
played,
like some of the things I'm seeing from him, like habit-wise and stuff like that.
I'm just not ready to give up on 24, 25-year-old kids. You know what I mean?
Well,
23-year-old kids.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to let them figure it out. But, when the team's shit, I mean, I'm not going to, whatever. I'm too tired for this. You guys ready for break? Do too many fucking shows here. I'm good. Stop bringing me. Stop asking me for my fucking opinion.
Well,
I don't have a fucking
you're not
opinion.
going to talk no more. Answer the question because we'll talk about it when we come back from break. Answer the question about where you think this team ranks up. What was the worst era you think? Late 80s or late 90s? Which had what were worst Phillies teams to you? Because you lived through that late 80s.
I don't really remember the late 80s. I mean, that's tough. I mean, I was 8 years old, so that's tough to remember. I mean, they were bad. But I also remember late 80s, there was still Mike Schmidt on the team.
Right,
so
Schmidt still brought you star power.
As bad as they were, I mean, you still had a Hall of Famer on the team. I would say 90s.
The late 90s
The late
teams.
90s were, that was ugly.
Yeah,
it was
there was
brutal.
some ugly teams, yeah.
Yeah, before the call-up of Jimmy and, Tommy coming in. I mean, it was some ugly baseball for a while. It wasn't even watchable. So that's what I got.
10,000 people at the vet.
I don't.
Do you remember? Were you at the vet? Have you been to the vet?
Yeah, I've
watch
been at the
Phillies
vet.
game when there was 10,000 people there, Ralph. It's one of the most depressing sights there ever was. That's why we were so thankful when Citizens Bank Park opened. It finally, it was like baseball heaven again. We'll have some fun when we come back with this Phillies conversation. Compare this team, because this team's ugly too. So we'll compare it to some other ugly teams. Maybe we'll pull up some all-time rosters and have some fun with some of the names we find on those rosters as we talk about this disappointing Phillies season. But although it apparently has gotten a little bit brighter, a little bit, there's some what is light on the end of the horizon, I guess is the saying, Ralph. Nick Williams has been called up. That's the news we're just getting. Hopefully we'll get to see him in the lineup tonight. That'd be awesome.
It'll be watchable.
Yeah,
I'll finally turn
the
Phillies
game
watch,
on. Right?
Yeah.
Give you a reason to watch. This is the Rundown, A2DRadio.com. We're brought to you by Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill on the campus of Kings Christian High School. Give them a call at 856-889-3434. Visit the website, www.scanzanosports.com.
You're listening to the worldwide leader of real talk, A2DRadio.com.
A2DRadio.com is sponsored by The Sports Outlet for all your sporting needs. Located 703 Black Horse Pike in Glendora, New Jersey. Give them a call at 856-939-2030 or email them at sportsoutletnj@comcast.net or visit them on the web at www.sportsoutletinc.com for all your sporting needs. The Sports Outlet.
A2DRadio.com is proudly sponsored by Gibson Mayor, LLC Certified Public Accountants. Gibson Mayor, located in Yardley, PA, is a leading accounting and business consulting firm with a proven track record of handling critical issues with expertise across many different industries, including construction, distribution, hospitality, manufacturing, real estate, service trades, merchandising, professional services, and professional athletes. Give them a call at 215-369-3300. That's 215-369-3300. Your initial consultation is always free, and if you tell them that Tom and Mike from AM and the PM sent you, you'll receive 15% off all income tax services completed by February 15th. That's Gibson Mayor, LLC, Certified Public Accountants, 215-369-3300, or visit them on the web at www.gibsonmayor.com. That's gibsonmayor.com.
Hey, do you need to get your skills in shape? Then contact the Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com. John Scanzano offers individual, semi-private, and team training lessons in hitting, pitching, catching, outfield, along with turf rentals. The Scanzano Sports Center is equipped with a 31,000 square foot indoor facility, 4 batting cages, and a 4,000 square foot strengthening and conditioning room. So what are you waiting for? Contact the Scanzano Sports Center today.
The Rundown, only on a2dradio.com. Welcome in to the worldwide leader of what? Real Talk, a2dradio.com.
Hey, do you need to get your skills in shape? Then contact the Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com. John Scanzano offers individual, semi-private, and team training lessons in hitting, pitching, catching, outfield, along with turf rentals. The Scanzano Sports Center is equipped with a 31,000 square foot indoor facility, 4 batting cages, and a 4,000 square foot strengthening and conditioning room. So what are you waiting for? Contact the Scanzano Sports Center today.
A2DRadio.com is sponsored by the Sports Outlet for all your sporting needs. Located 703 Black Horse Pike in Glendora, New Jersey. Give them a call at 856-939-2030 or email them at sportsoutletnj@comcast.net or visit them on the web at www.sportsoutletinc.com for all your sporting needs. The Sports Outlet.
A2DRadio.com is proudly sponsored by Gibson Mayor, LLC, Certified Public Accountants. Gibson Mayor, located in Yardley, PA, is a leading accounting and business consulting firm with a proven track record of handling critical issues with expertise across many different industries, including construction, distribution, hospitality, manufacturing, real estate, service trades, merchandising, professional services, and professional athletes. Give them a call at 215-369-3300. That's 215 369-3300. Your initial consultation is always free, and if you tell them that Tom and Mike from AM and the PM sent you, you'll receive 15% off all income tax services completed by February 15th. That's Gibson Mayor LLC Certified Public Accountants, 215-369-3300, or visit them on the web at www.gibsonmayor.com. That's gibsonmayor.com.
You're listening to The Rundown, only on a2dradio.com.
Welcome back to The Rundown, a2dradio.com. Zach Barr with Ralph Delavecchio. Talking Phillies baseball. How disappointing of a year it's been so far.
Nick Williams is up.
I'm back on camera. Nick Williams is up.
Hopefully he plays tonight, man.
Hopefully he does play tonight. We've got some comments on Facebook. Frank Vespi says, "Does Pete Mackanin the manager next year?" He says yes, but Klentak needs to start the call-ups of Williams and Crawford and Alfaro. Steve Morantz, our buddy that is a pretty frequent listener, he says Phils don't have an offense. Franco goes in the center fielder. I guess he means El Torito. Odubel. He doesn't like Franco or Odubel. I'll tell you what, Odubel...
Well, McCann just, fined Odubel Herrera? What was it? How much money? Does anybody know how much money he was suspended for? Or, I mean, not suspended, but fined.
For?
Yeah.
I don't know why. For running that stop sign?
I think so. And a couple other things, too.
I mean, it was pretty annoying to watch him run those stop signs. I mean, he ran the stop sign.
Two times.
He got picked off.
Two times.
Yeah. Like
one off at third, and one off at second.
Got picked off twice. Yeah, then he ran the stop sign. And, yeah, that's...
He outran, the one... When Samuel told him to stop, put the stop sign, his turn was so wide he went around Juan Samuel at third base.
Okay.
But
yeah,
whatever.
I saw that. Yeah, I'm watching this video. This is interesting. I'm watching Cody Bellinger play in the Little League World Series.
Now look at him. Star for the
I know.
Dodgers.
Was he a teammate of? I know Scott Kingery played in the Little League World Series for Arizona. So did Cody Bellinger.
I don't know. What year was that?
I don't know what year this is. This is 2007. I think Kingery played in Little League World Series for Arizona in 2006.
Ah, okay.
It's interesting.
Remember that tall? What was it? I forget what year it was.
Yes, from Saudi Arabia. I know.
No, not that kid. The kid that was playing for
California. There was a couple
tall
kids.
But I mean, this kid was like 6'3", 6'4".
Danny Almonte, since that was, you were probably still too young to remember that, but he was the illegal pitcher that was like 14, and he struck out a bunch of 12-year-olds and threw a no-hitter in the Little League World Series final. Yeah.
How the hell did they get away with that the whole entire tournament?
Because he had a fake birth certificate. That was. I'm surprised you haven't heard about it. It was a huge story. It was like a big-time scandal. You remember the Chicago Little League team, that scandal from a few years back. The last time that was the biggest scandal since the Danny Almonte thing.
Yeah.
It was this 14-year-old pitched a no-hitter, I guess was going to win the Little League World Series or send his U.S. team, the New York team or whatever it was, to the finals to play for the Little League World Series. And then they ended up, it got found out about after the tournament, so they got stripped of, all that. And, yeah, they ended up not winning anything because he was 14 instead of 12. And it was funny because, like,
what a piss poor move.
Like this is how, he wasn't even fooling anybody. The one reporter is this, female reporter, like an Aaron Andrews type or something. Mm-hmm. After the Little League World Series, after the game where he struck out, and threw a no-hitter to, send the New York team to the finals. She kept asking, she's like, how old are you? And she kept asking him how old he was. Because, clearly people are suspicious about how old this kid is. And he kept saying, I'm 12, and, like, it turned out he was 14, and then, like, they banned his dad for, like, I don't know, forever.
Jesus.
I think he was banned from organized baseball.
What happened with, I forget what happened with the Chicago team. That's the team that beat the Philly team, right?
Yeah, they were just stripped of everything, although that's stupid. It was dumb. Well, it wasn't like they didn't have, like, kids that were too old or anything. They just had kids from different, town boundaries and stuff. Like, that was really, like, dumb technicalities.
Yeah.
Like, if you're from Chicago's a big place. Oh, but different district. I don't care. If you're from Chicago, you can play on the team.
Yeah.
This is retarded. It's like, because that Philly team, that was from your area, right? Like, that was like a Ridley area team or something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's you had to be from that certain area of Philly. Like, if that team wasn't made
up
of,
Renee Davis, right?
Yeah, that team wasn't made up of wasn't like they were able to get kids from all parts of Philly. It was a certain area of Philly, a certain little.
It was basically a city team.
Yes, pretty much.
Well, Nick Williams is up. Finally, the heavens have opened today. Now the next one should be Scott Kingery.
I love how Rhys Hoskins and Scott Kingery aren't up, even though Hoskins leads minor league baseball.
That's a punch in the mouth.
Got 19 homers.
You think that's a punch in the mouth?
You're not ready yet.
Yeah. You think that's a punch in the mouth for Rhys?
Stupid.
Yeah.
Just dumb. And Hoskins, I mean, like, he was a college player a few years back, and then he, guys like him, he hit like 39 homers in the minor leagues a year ago.
Yeah.
Like, a guy like him should be up by now. What else you got to do? You hit 39 a year ago?
He should have been up from spring training.
Now you hit 19?
He should have been on the opening day roster to begin with.
Come on, really,
all 5 of them should have been on. Cameron Rupp is still my catcher.
This is a kid. Listen, I don't know. We're just talking about Hoskins.
Tommy Joseph is still my first baseman.
We're talking about Hoskins is like, it's a nice player that's played well in the minor leagues. Let's get him up here and see what he can do. But, like, this is a kid that was drafted in the 5th round or whatever it was out of college, and now in, like, his 3rd minor league season is coming off a 39 home run season, and now, he's having this season.
Yeah.
4th minor league season, whatever it is. So, this is a kid that, like, we don't, he could come up to the big leagues. It's not, like, crazy to think this power translate, and he's, not, there's no reason to think that, it's not unrealistic for him to be a 30 home run guy every year. I mean, that is very possible. We don't know. I don't think we should just look at it and be like, oh, well, right now, we need to get him up here because he's playing well in the minor leagues, but this could be a legitimate part of our future.
Yeah.
Could be a legitimate, he could be the future. We talked about earlier sliding Franco over to first base. The hell with that. I'll slide Franco into a cab and send him to the airport, okay, and Hoskins can play first base once I sign Manny Machado.
Yeah. Tommy Joseph can go.
I'll take Tommy Joseph to the Yankees right now. Okay, they need a first baseman.
Yeah.
They need a lot of help after their prospect ran into tore his knee up yesterday.
Who is their first baseman?
Well, it was supposed to be Greg Bird, but remember, he's been injured, and he struggled a lot at the beginning of the year.
That's a good team, man. That's a very young team, but Aaron Judge, man, I'll do anything to get him on my ball team. Anything.
Well, you should have drafted him. You had the chance, and you didn't do it.
Should have 31 other teams. The Yankees, man. I'm telling you, the Yankees are.
Some of these
they just find the gems.
Some of these talent evaluators and how they just overthink things. Well, listen, I know he's got freaky power, but 6'8", 260 is just too big for a baseball player. Okay.
See how that pans out.
Take other people and draft him 32nd in the draft, and then what happens is he becomes the best hitter in baseball.
Yep. He's about to be hitting 30 home runs before the All-Star break.
Yeah, that's true.
20 more just to hit 50, and he's capable of doing that.
When you think about that, you think Mike Piazza was the final pick of the draft. The final pick, in the entire baseball draft. He was only drafted by the Dodgers because Tommy Lasorda was his godfather, and it was a favor to his dad because Tommy Lasorda had known Piazza's dad forever.
Mm-hmm.
So he was drafted as a favor, the final pick in the draft, and he goes on to be the greatest hitting catcher of all time. Yeah. How many teams are pissed at themselves? Forget about
fire the whole scouting.
He was the final pick in the draft. Not a single one of you didn't think to take this kid at any point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am firing my whole scouting staff. What the hell?
Yeah.
Good God.
Fire them all.
Oh, that even if I'm the Dodgers, I'm firing that entire scouting staff. We had to wait for Lasorda to take him as a favor to Daddy?
Yeah.
You didn't draft this kid earlier? You're fired.
Not even first round. Not even in the first round?
Get the hell out of I don't remember. I think he was he played infield or something when he got drafted. He didn't become a catcher till he was in the minor leagues. So that's kind of why. Like he didn't really have a defensive position. Like he had a nice swing, a good hitter. Ted Williams had worked with him personally and shit growing up to help him. With his got a good swing, but like not a good enough athlete to really have a defensive home or anything anywhere. So nobody knew where he was going to play. And then play catcher, and then when you can hit like that,
Hall of Fame.
when you can hit like that, you'll find a way to the big leagues, even if you're not the best defensive catcher.
Then he goes to the Mets and has a Hall of Fame career.
Well, he's with the Dodgers. Listen, he cut it. You don't remember it because you weren't born till '96, but he was an absolute superstar with the Dodgers. He was the Rookie of the Year. He had like 38 homers as a rookie, 37 as a rookie, or something like that. He was insane. And he's from Norristown, Pennsylvania. He's a local kid. And at the All-Star game in Philadelphia in 1996, he hit a ball under the upper deck. He hit a home run under the upper deck there, and a sellout crowd and all that. Like, he was always one of my favorite non-Phillies because he's a local kid. Yeah. And had a great swing, and the guy was fun to watch. Good hitter, and I had always liked him ever since the Clemens incident in the 2000 World Series where Clemens threw the bat at him. Through the broken bat, the barrel went back out to Clemens, and he picked up the barrel of the broken bat and chucked it back at Piazza. Because I guess he was on roids and he was roid raging. I'm not real sure. I don't really have a better explanation.
Roger Clemens, man.
But yeah, I always liked Piazza from that. And then before that, Clemens hit him in the head with a fastball, like earlier in the year, gave him a concussion and shit. So, although I was never a fan of the frosted tips, I don't know what the hell Piazza was thinking with the frosted tips.
Yeah.
It didn't,
Didn't go that well.
I know it was like 99 and Eminem was big and Frosted Tips were in.
Yeah.
Timberlake and all those were, they were rocking it, but like.
Mike, what are you doing?
Grandma Delavecchio's at home. Imagine like how, if you came home with Frosted Tips, she'd be like on her knees saying like, oh no, but saying prayers in Italian, saying, the rosary or whatever the hell it is that you're, I don't know, I'm not Italian. You got Italian, you got the rosary and shit like that. Is it like Italian traditions?
Yeah.
No. And she,
throwing holy water on
throwing holy water on you. The Italian Catholic woman.
No, I'm not sleeping on the streets till I get a buzz
exactly.
cut.
Oh my God, I can't believe somebody his grandmother or something didn't go off about something like that.
Yeah.
Grandma Delavecchio's seen a lot of bad Phillies baseball.
Oh
hasn't
yeah,
she?
yeah.
She's seen a ton of it. She might remember some of those 30s and 40s teams we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Probably.
I hope she's not. Was she that old now? I feel bad. Like,
she's 86.
Oh, my God. Well, okay, yeah, she's definitely that. Okay.
Yeah,
well.
born in 1930.
So she's definitely seen some of those teams. So that's
she went to Richie Ashburn's first game as a Philly.
Okay, so that's a great question for Grandma Delavecchio then. What is the worst Phillies team she's ever seen? Because she's seen them all.
Yeah.
It don't get any worse than some of the Phillies
From
teams she's seen.
1930 till now.
Yeah, exactly. Does she have a Facebook? Is she able to comment on our...
Yeah, she does.
She's got to tell your mom to comment on the who is the worst Phillies team you've ever seen.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I got to shoot my mom a text her.
Yeah, get Grandma Delavecchio's opinion.
Yeah.
Worst Phillies team I've ever seen. Now, there's been some ugly Phillies teams. I instead of looking at teams, maybe we just look at rosters, like ugly Phillies rosters. There's been some bad ones where you just look at guys and you're like, I don't know if this guy plays on any other, like, is he going to like have significant playing time on any other big league team?
Yeah.
And an answer to a lot of those was no. I don't think they would have. There was Greg Jeffries was one of our best players in like the year you were born. Here you go. I'll look up a name for you. You probably don't remember this guy. Well, I know you don't remember this guy. Greg Jeffries. He was a Met before he was a Philly.
Worst Phillies roster.
Yeah.
Let's see.
We should Google
this is kind of tough for me because 03, 04, we had Bobby Abreu, Scott Rowland, Jim Thome was there.
Well, Rowland was gone by that point.
Are you sure?
He was traded in 02 at the deadline.
Are you sure?
Yeah, he was traded to St. Louis. Yeah, I mean, he had a big falling out with the city. That was the reason.
Then that's when we had David Bell at third base, correct?
Yeah, that was the reason Polanco was here. Was because Polanco came over.
Yeah, Polanco was the second baseman.
Yeah, he ended up actually being a steal on that deal. He was just a throw-in. Like, he wasn't really supposed to be much, and he ended up starting and actually having
Lieberthal was the
some
catcher.
Significant time for us. Yeah, I mean there was some nice young players on. Rowland was the rookie of the year in '97. Burrell came up in 2000 and was impressive. But at the same time, you had some names sprinkled in there that were just bad. Like I said, Desi Relaford as your starting shortstop, just terrible.
Mm-hmm.
We had Ron Gant in left field after he flaked out in Atlanta, just bad. Marlon Anderson was our starting second baseman.
I'm gonna look it up.
You remember Marlon Anderson?
Yeah.
I mean,
what about Marlon Bird?
Well, he was just terrible to begin with, and obviously was on steroids.
Bird.
Yeah, he was on steroids in that, down. There was rumors that he was on steroids down throughout the minor leagues, and then he finally got to the big leagues at like 25, and, it was part of.
Here we go. Philadelphia Phillies, the top worst teams in franchise history.
You Googled it?
Yeah.
I've got the 1996 Phillies team here. They were pretty bad. They were 67 and 95. Whew. Look, they
lost 100 games 12 times and had a 5-year stretch of 100-plus defeats from 1938 to 1942.
Yeah, we got to take them out of the equation because,
But that's still bad, though.
I didn't watch any of those teams.
Yeah,
so,
but that's still bad.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. In 96, we went 67 and 95, and we gave up 600, or we scored 650 runs, and we gave up 790. So there's
what year was that?
1996. There was a differential, minus 140 differential. We gave up 140 more runs than we scored. 67 and 95. That was a bad year. Now let's see who was our best player on that team.
2000, 65 and 97 was the record. 65 wins, 97 wins.
Of course, Kurt Schilling was still the best player on our team that year. Kurt Schilling had a WAR of 4.8. That was our highest WAR in 96. This is how you know it was bad. Technically, statistically, Jim Eisenreich was our second best player. Jim Eisenreich
terrible.
Jim Eisenreich only struck out 32 times in 113 games that year. And stole 11 bases, only caught one time. I mean, he hit 361 before he got traded to the Marlins. Yeah, that's
it's terrible.
Well, yeah, it's a pretty damn good year for him, but I mean the fact that he was our second best player for most of that year. Pete Mackanin was still on that team.
What year was this?
This is 1996.
Still.
All right, statistically, I guess Benito Santiago was our best player. He was on steroids, but he was our best player. 136 games, he hit 30 homers, and hit 264. Yeah, he was our best player that year, but Benito Santiago was a chronic roid user, which... That's fine. Use the steroids. I'm okay with that. Everybody was on it at that time. It's good to see that we at least had one guy that was, I guess, a significant player. Mickey Morandini stole 26 bases that year while hitting 250. So, in 140 games. He was still only 30 years old that year, Mickey was.
Yeah, Phillies teams. Thank God I called him at the right point, huh?
How about Todd Zeile hitting 20 home runs? I forgot Todd Zeile even played for us. Todd Zeile hit 20 home runs in 1996 for us playing third base. Todd Zeile.
Let's see. 2003 Phillies roster. It's probably had Jim Thome and Randy Wolf, Jim Thome, Marlon Bird.
That wasn't a bad team. They were competitive.
Chase Utley.
Yeah, they were competitive. That wasn't
Jimmy
a bad
Rollins,
team.
Brett Myers.
2000 was a bad team.
Yeah.
Even in 99, we weren't that bad. They just got injured. We were in 99, the Phillies had a winning record at the All-Star break.
Yeah, Kurt Schilling.
He was part of the
Randy
reason.
Wolf. Let's see. 2000. Mike Lieberthal was on the team.
Yeah, Liebe was speaking of Reuters, he was a good player. From 99-2000, he had two really good years.
Marlon Anderson was the second baseman. Tomas Perez, remember him?
Yeah, well, he was the secret weapon.
Oh, my goodness.
The secret weapon.
Tomas Perez.
Tomas Perez was awesome. I mean, he played like 18 different positions.
I remember that
and
guy.
he had, like, how many big hits did he have for the Phillies? He had so many big hits. Tomas Perez was awesome.
Let's see.
Tomas Perez. He stinks. We're talking about guys.
He had one home run with 13 RBIs.
Yeah, but like he was a super utility player.
Yeah.
Harry Callis called him the best bench player he'd ever seen in all of his years in baseball. That was probably I'd want to know what Harry was smoking at that point. What was in Harry's cigar? But
True.
there was,
Yeah, Randy Wolf went 11-9 with an ERA of 4.36.
Yeah, he was a good left-handed pitcher for a few years there, Randy Wolf. Pete Incaviglia hit 16 homers in 99 games. That was always Inky's thing. This roster.
Let's see. Scott Rowland that year had 26 home runs with 89 RBIs.
Yeah, Rowland was a legit player those early years of his career. You don't remember how good Scott Rowland was. You were too young.
I called him when he wasn't even a Philly.
Yeah, he
well, I did, but
he was he played a significant role in the 2006 Cardinals championship team, but by that point he had injured his shoulder a few times. He was nowhere near the player he was. Look up some Scott Rowland highlights from early in his Phillies career. The guy was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
He had a chance where there was he looked as if early in his career, he was going to be this power defense combination that we hadn't seen since Schmidt, and he was. I mean, he wasn't quite on Schmidt's level, but he won how many Gold Gloves? He was every year he was winning the Gold Glove at third base for us. He was a 30 home run guy. If he would have gotten to play in a place like Citizens Bank Park, 5 years earlier, if he would have played at Citizens Bank Park 5 years before,
and that's a hitter's park too.
Yeah, but he didn't his relationship with the fans wasn't that great. Rowland was like a laid back Midwestern guy. He was from Evansville, Indiana. He was a really laid-back guy, and, the vet was, bad on your knees and on your back and things like that with that turf, the AstroTurf and stuff. And, there was just things about this city and playing on this, I guess, in this organization that he just wasn't ready for at a young age. But, I mean, if he could have I've always said it like this. If we could have signed him long-term at some point, like 99 or 2000, and you're looking at what this team would have been. Forget about 08. We would have been a playoff team before that. You would have had Rowland at third. You would have had Rollins at short, Utley at second. Maybe you don't sign Tomey because you had Rowland, but you would have signed. Howard would have came up, still right around the same amount of time, maybe a little bit earlier. Think about that infield. You've got Rowland, Rollins, Utley, Howard. And we're talking about Rowland. Remember how big of a role he played for that Cardinals team in 2006?
Yeah.
By 2006, Ryan Howard was the MVP. So imagine if you put Rowland on that 2006 team. You know what I mean? Like, it's an insane team. To think about how good
the infield is dirty.
That infield's insane.
Yeah.
And, like circa 2004, you would look at it, Rowland, Rollins, Utley, whoever the hell's playing first base, whoever you still want to have catch. Out in the outfield, and that
infield would still be good.
That infield, that's 3 all-stars right there. And Rollins is still really young and only getting better. Utley was not even in his prime yet. You had Burrell still in left field, who was, at that time was still hitting 30 home runs and stuff like that. I think this, and then Hamels was coming up. The team, you signed Billy Wagner. And if you look
Billy
at it,
Wagner.
if you looked at it where a guy like Rowland was here, if you would have signed a guy like Rowland long-term, 99 or 2000, it's, maybe you could have attracted some other free agents to be here. Maybe Schilling never leaves.
Yeah.
Think about how, the potential of that team. If Schilling and Rowland never leave, look at that team. Schilling's your ace, and then you've got Rowland, Rollins, Utley, Burrell's in left field.
Bobby Abreu.
Abreu's still on that team. Guys like Randy Wolf, who was a good left-handed pitcher for a while. Brett Myers, who was not a bad, guy in that rotation, especially if you had a guy like, like Schilling still being the ace. That's a team that could have, that's a playoff team. That's a team that's, they were 2 games away, 2 games out of being a playoff team in 03. A couple more games away from being a playoff team in 05. 06 if Rowland's on that team, and then you signed Aaron Rowan and guys like that. That's a really good baseball team.
Then 07 we finally make the playoffs and then get swept by Colorado in that best-of-5 series.
Yeah, I think that whole thing probably starts a little bit before, we're probably we advance it 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
Because, just that's the impact Roland would have had on that team.
Then no, wait, we won it all. Hopefully we can get back there soon, man. Because this team was a bunch of shit in one pot. That's what it is. I mean, it's I don't even know where to begin with to start with this team.
68 and 76.
What year was that?
95. That was the shortened season. They didn't play 162 games that year. They only played like 141 or whatever because it was the year after the strike. They were 69 and 75.
Probably were on pace to lose 90-something games too.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was it wasn't a good Phillies team by any means, but let's look at this roster. Let's see. Let's go down and look at it. Ricky Bottalico was an all-star that year.
Jesus. Now he's on Comcast post game and pre-game.
I mean, we didn't really have any good players. At least there was still a lot of guys though from that '93 team, so at least it still brought recognition. You know what I mean? Dalton was there, Hollins, Morandini, Kevin Stocker. Guys from that '93 team were still there, so it brought recognition for you. Charlie Hayes played 141 games. That's just terrible. Jim Eisenreich still hit .316 at age 36. How was Eisenreich? Eisenreich, he's always been a fan favorite in this city. But I mean, this guy isn't. He probably should have been more loved in this city. You have no idea who Jim Eisenreich is, do you?
No, to be honest.
Jim Eisenreich was the right fielder in that '93 team. He had Tourette syndrome, so he was a perfect fit for that '93 guys. There's '93 guys. He was a head case. 94. Now we got to go up a little bit more. Some of these bad rosters. What changes do you want to see made by this team going forward, Ralph?
The bullpen. I think the bullpen has to get better. And you need to add hitters in this lineup, too. I mean, people that can actually hit the ball.
Well, I mean, let's bring up the 5 fucking all-stars that play for Lehigh Valley.
Yeah.
Considering 4 of them are hitters.
You got one so far.
Yeah.
And that's Nick Williams.
Was he? I don't even know if he was an all-star.
No, probably not. But
he probably wasn't one of the 5
all-stars. At least they brought
all-stars.
a young kid up.
It's like, great, we brought up a young kid. He wasn't even one of the 5 all-stars.
Yeah. They're freaking listening to us.
You bastards.
No, but I think, dude.
How about that ass-backwards logic? But we can't call them up now. Then they won't be able to play in the AAA All-Star game. I don't give a fuck. I don't care about the stupid-ass AAA All-Star game that 25 people are going to watch on the MLB Network. Are you going to watch that?
No.
There's 5 Phillies in it. I'm not watching that garbage.
I'm not watching it either.
If anything important happens involving Phillies prospects, we'll see it later on the fucking highlights.
Yeah. I'll watch it on the book.
How about that? We were 14th out of 14th in National League attendance in 1997. That's real good.
Yeah.
68 and 94. Yeah, we stunk. We were like a game better than the year before.
You want to talk about some bad teams that I've seen other than the Phillies? Them Houston Astros used to be very bad.
Yeah, they were bad. How about this though? Tell me this isn't legit. 22-year-old Scott Rowland in 1997 won Rookie of the Year. 21 homers, 92 RBIs, hit .283 with a .377 on-base percentage.
Stud.
And I believe he won a Gold Glove Award, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think he did. He was a 7-time All-Star too. Scott Rowland was.
Yeah, I mean that shoulder injury cost him 4 or 5 really good years. He injured that shoulder when he got traded to St. Louis. I think he injured that shoulder in 03 or 04. He played 130 or 140 or so games a year, but he was always missing a little bit of time. And then he had 2 years there after 06, 07 to 09, where he just did not.
Yeah.
He was not on the field a lot, and that probably cost him. If he doesn't injure his shoulder, you're talking about a
Hall
guy.
Of Fame?
he's a lot closer. He's borderline. He's in the conversation. I mean, you're talking about an offensive-defensive combination that's not seen. The guy was every year, was winning Gold Gloves. He even won another one when he was in Cincinnati. See, you remember when he was a little bit older?
Yeah.
Like your tail end of his career in Cincinnati, and he had his 300th career home run against the Phillies in Cincinnati. And that was he had a bounce-back year. He was an all-star. He had 20 homers that year, 17 of them before the all-star break or whatever.
You going to watch the all-star game this year?
Maybe. I don't know. You
got to watch it, Zach.
I got to watch it. I got to watch it.
You have to.
I'll watch The Simpsons with my girlfriend probably before I watch the stupid fucking all-star game.
What?
Who am I going to watch in the all-star game?
Who am
I going to watch? What am I going to watch it for?
They got to pick one Philly.
They're going to pick one fucking Philly. It's going to be Pat Neshek. Watch, because he's got like an ERA under 1 out in our bullpen.
That would be sad.
Can't pitch more than 2/3 of an inning. He'll be the lone all-star. You know what? You know what's saying? You know who's probably going to be our all-star? You know who's going to be our all-star? I'm telling you right now, it's going to be Aaron Altair.
You think so?
He's hitting like 285 with 13 homers.
He's coming around.
We wanted this guy, we were like, why is this kid even on the roster in spring training? At least he's listened and developed. Apparently, they changed his swing in spring training. They made all these changes to his approach at the plate.
Well, I'll tell you one guy that, thank God, he's not on the roster anymore. Well, he still is, but Clay Buchholz. Thank God he's injured, man.
Hey, he was supposed to come in.
That's the guy.
He was supposed to come in and help us win 80 games, Ralph. God. This guy.
That's the guy who's like, why is he on the roster?
You
already know what you're getting out of him.
How bad is it when Aaron Altair is your best player?
Yeah.
Like he's been
Franco
our best player all year. Our best hitter.
Out of those two.
And Freddie Galvis has probably been our second.
Don't say that name on here.
I hate this guy so bad, but he's probably been our second best offensive player.
It kills me to say.
Did you hear how excited they were on the broadcast in Seattle? He had like a 3 or 4 hit game, the final game of that series against Felix Hernandez. And they were like, "Oh, Freddie's been hot. What's his average up to? Is it up over 250?" It's like, "Oh my God, he's been so fucking hot. He's hitting 251." Oh my God, he had to get hot to get his average up above 253. He's hitting 253 with an on-base percentage of 290, and I'm supposed to be fucking excited.
You know, you're supposed to be hitting 290, baby.
Then they were talking about some nonsense where apparently the Phillies have won 3 of their last 4 games ever since Freddie Galvis lit that fire in the clubhouse. Like, apparently, Galvis lit a fire under everybody's ass. Apparently, this is why Freddie Galvis is apparently a leader on this baseball team. Oh, God. He's the leader of this. If Freddie Galvis played for the fucking Cubs, he wouldn't even get to speak in that clubhouse. Like,
Chris Bryant,
people like Anthony Rizzo would tell, "Hey, take a seat."
Yeah.
Okay.
Sunday's coming.
Take a seat. Daddy's talking, okay?
Like Sunday's coming. You'll get your shot on Sunday.
Take a seat, okay? Yeah. Like, Daddy's talking, and like he'd be like he'd just be another guy on that team. He'd be like a utility player.
He would.
He's not playing over Addison Russell.
No.
Okay? Like, really. This guy, like, I can't believe we hold him in such high regard on this baseball team. I mean,
terrible.
for real.
It's very bad. God, I wish he was. Wow. See, that's the thing about this Phillies team, is that we sit here, and 1 week Freddie's terrible, right? And I think this is one of the reasons why they're so hesitant to call him up, and is kind of one of the bullshit reasons why you shouldn't be calling him up.
Who's this?
I think all the young kids should be up right now. Because, I mean, 1 week.
You're talking about any of the young kids?
Yeah.
Just any of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, 1 week, Freddie Galvis is hitting the ball off the cover, right? He's good approaches, hitting the ball off the cover 1 week, and then another week, he can't even hit the ball. And then another week, he's hitting the ball, and it's an up and down. It's like a seesaw for Freddie Galvis. That's why I think they're so hesitant to call some of these young guys up. But you know what, dude? Forget about it.
Well, it's because Freddie Galvis can't play.
Yeah.
He's a super utility guy in this league. We all fucking know it. I'm not worried about how up and down he is.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, if you could play, you could play. Call them up to the big leagues. If they could play, they could play. They'll figure it the hell out.
Yeah.
If they can't, then they won't. It's really that simple.
Same thing with Tommy Joseph, too. Tommy Joseph shouldn't be on this team to begin with.
Well, listen, I mean, he's gotten hot recently, and now maybe we'll be able to find a trade partner for him. The Yankees need some help.
Send him to the White Sox.
The Yankees need some desperate help at first base.
He'd be a DH for the
How
White
about
Sox.
this? Darren Dalton in '97, before we traded him to the Marlins, he played 84 games in right field.
By the way, that was my grandma's second favorite player.
Darren Dalton?
Yeah.
Dutch.
Oh.
She probably thought he was good looking back in
Yeah,
the day.
she did.
Oh, did she say exactly? Look, Grandma Delavecchio. Oh, we're learning some secrets about Grandma.
Yeah.
No wonder she watched Richie Ashburn's first game for the Phillies. She fantasizing about Richie, huh?
Yeah.
That was my favorite player ever, Richie Ashburn.
She's got a ball signed by him, a big poster.
Yeah, she's got a ball signed by him.
Don't bring that up.
Look, Grandma Delavecchio. Oh man, look, she's the realest. She's the realest Phillies fan we in this conversation at the moment. Gotta get Mama.
Watches him every night.
Still?
Yeah, I don't know.
See, well, that's what happens when you live through the 40s. See,
Yeah.
she like, this isn't bad. You want to see bad. Back
you-
in my day,
you know,
we paid a quarter
wanna
to
talk
watch the
about-
Phillies on
Yeah.
the team.
Want to talk about something? 85 degrees outside. You think we had the AC on? Nope. Windows are open.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Grandma Delavecchio don't play that.
Nope. You know why? Because she's used to it.
Yeah, I bet.
Well, I'm sweating my fat
She
ass
grew up in the Depression.
on the couch.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
I'm
you
sweating
probably
my fat ass on the couch.
stinking it up with your sweaty ass on the couch. Grandma Delavecchio lived through the Depression. She ain't playing this game.
That's crazy, huh?
Air conditioning. What's wrong with the air outside? There's nothing wrong with it.
It's like a nice breeze coming through, and there ain't no breeze.
Nice breeze, Grandma. All I feel is humidity.
I know. Yeah, it's terrible. You know, sometimes I convince you, Graham, just throw the air on. My rule is if it gets over 83 in the house, you have to turn the air on.
If it's over 83 in the house. If it's over 80 outside, the air's going on. Seriously.
Like if I owned my own house, the AC probably would be on 68 degrees every day in the summer.
You look like one of those fat guys that will go into your bedroom and crank it down to 58 degrees.
Dude, you have to.
And it's gonna have icicles hanging from the vents by the time you wake
You
up
sleep
from
with a
your
fan
nap.
on? You sleep with a fan on?
I sleep with the air conditioning on every night.
Yeah.
But I like the sound of it.
It
helps
puts me to bed.
It's soothing.
Yeah.
It soothes me to sleep. We're so fucking gay. It soothes me to sleep. That's so manly.
It really is.
Yeah, I was like, you miss Grandma Delavecchio singing you a lullaby, so now you need something.
Got the AC.
She sung you lullabies when you were little,
Nah.
like Italian folk songs or something.
Nah.
This is a song that we used to sing in the village growing up in Sicily. And by Sicily, that's what we called West Philly at that time. Got no clue. Yeah. Grandma Delavecchio, she probably watches this team. She's like, you think this is bad?
Yeah.
I remember back in 1942 when I had to pay a nickel to go watch the game at the local town hall, and we had to watch. Oh gosh, she's bringing up names that I never heard of.
Never heard of.
And Richie Ashburn's teammate, it was like, who the hell is that? I don't even know who that is. I remember he struck out 4 times in a game, and with the bases loaded to end it. And I remember being so mad, he cost me a nickel that day.
She actually skipped school that day to go see him play.
I remember skipping school. The snow.
Now, where do they play before they
Wait, hold on, Grandma. It was snowing it was the middle of August, but the snow was up to here. I got it, Grandma. I'm pretty sure.
You're going to see, I don't know.
Yeah, that's like every old person's story, right? We had to walk 5 miles with the snow up to our neck. It was August. What do you mean there was snow up to your neck? To walk 5 miles to the local
It was the
town
only
hall.
day it snowed. The next day it was all gone.
100 degrees the next day. Melted it all.
I don't know how people live back then.
I had to
like
walk
that.
5 miles in 100-degree heat
Imagine
to the local
that.
town hall to watch whoever the hell it was strike out with the bases loaded to end the game.
Imagine that living back then with no AC. It's like 90 degrees in your house. I wouldn't be able to survive back then, to be honest with you.
You're such a millennial. You are the definition of that term. The people that we get my generation gets knocked by people, oh, you guys aren't tough. You guys don't, we're not tough enough. We're a bunch of snowflakes and all that. You're over here talking about how you couldn't live back in the 1930s because of how hot it would have been.
Yeah.
Without the air conditioning. They made shit called water, Ralph. You poured it on yourself and swam in it to cool off. They had creeks and stuff. I'm assuming that, back in the 1930s, you did a lot of swimming and shit in,
Like Stand By Me. You ever see that movie?
No.
Never
Is that
saw
a chick
that
flick?
No.
We were talking about chick flicks a week ago.
Yeah.
Man, I love Fridays.
Yep. Man, I love Fridays. That picture that you showed me pre-show.
Who the hell? Midre Cummings. He was a center fielder apparently on that 97 team for 63 games. I've never heard of this guy ever in my life. Ruben Amaro played 117 games for that team.
Who?
Ruben Amaro Jr.
You didn't talk about that guy in Philadelphia no more.
Hit 234 in 117 games.
What is he, the first? Oh, here it is. Look at that.
What's
Breaking news.
What's this?
Darrell Green Beckham has been released by the Philadelphia Eagles.
Well, you see that? See? What's his name's tired of yelling at him to pick his head up as he runs around.
Wow. Well, me and you called it. We're freaking geniuses.
Yeah, he wasn't going to make it. Yeah, he was
We're
not.
freaking geniuses.
I guess they just decided, you know what? We're not even going to wait until, we're not even going to bother waiting until, until training camp to cut this guy. We know he's not going to make the team. There's just absolutely no way.
Like me and you
Anytime
just
you
sit
have to
here
yell
in
at him-
amazement that he's 6'5" and he doesn't even use that size to his advantage.
There's probably something else involved with this. He probably got caught up in weed again or something. They've just had enough of this.
You think so?
He's smoking a blunt or something with
Josh Huff.
Yeah,
God
him
damn it,
and Josh Huff are hanging out. Josh
The hell you doing at the
Josh
Novacare
Huff
for?
is back in town. We're hanging.
The hell you doing at the Novacare for, Josh Huff? God.
How about Mark Leiter? You see Mark Leiter Jr. that pitches for the Phillies now. His dad pitched for the Phillies in '97 and '98, and Mark Leiter. See, I don't have his stats here, but yeah, Mark Leiter was not very good. Put it that way. I remember Mark Leiter pitching for us. He was 10-17 in 1997. He lost 17 games, although he had 3 complete games. So interesting.
Ben Lively's pitching tonight.
Oh, lovely. So lovely. Yeah,
a lot of things that need to be changed.
Here you go. Kurt Schilling. See, this is what made there's no way any of those late 90s teams are worse than this team right now. Kurt Schilling had started 35 games that year, went 254 innings, had 319 strikeouts.
How many wins did he have?
17 wins. 7 complete games and 2 shutouts.
And that team was still shit.
254 innings, 319 strikeouts.
I bet you the difference with him pitching is that he actually probably got run support.
2.97 ERA. He should have been the Cy Young that year. If he pitches on a winning team, he wins 25 games. I mean, for real. No wonder he demanded to be fucking traded.
To Arizona too.
Ricky Batalico saved 34 games.
Was he on that Arizona team that won the World Series?
Yeah, him and Randy Johnson were the 1-2 punch.
Luis Gonzalez hits that little bloop out to center field.
And for a couple years there, they were for a couple years. He started Game 7 of that World Series, and for a couple years there, Johnson and Schilling were probably the best 1-2 combination in baseball.
Yeah, Luis Gonzalez hit that little bloop single out to center to win the game in extras. Or was it bottom of the 9th? I forget when it was. Beat the Yankees,
it was the
though.
bottom of the 9th. The bloop single into center field. It won the game. Yeah, off Mariano Rivera. Yes, one of Mariano Rivera's. He actually had a rough postseason that year. One of his few ever rough postseasons. See, we were better in '98. We went 75 and 87. That was Ed Wade's first year as the GM.
See, I mean, we sat here spring training thinking this team could hit 80 wins, which would be great. Bounce back to 80 wins, see some improvement from the Franco, and hopefully see the young guys. But God damn,
here you go.
Those first 3 weeks were okay. They were playing some good baseball, and then I don't know. After McCann got that extension, they just went all downhill.
1998, Mark Lewis played 142 games at second base. Hit 249. He was actually one of our better players that year. So fucking terrible. I can't believe this guy hit 9 home runs at 249. He's like one of our better players. How about Bobby Abreu as a 24-year-old? I guess he was a rookie this year. Hit 312 with 17 homers. Stole 19 bases.
And that team was bad, huh?
That 98 team was improving. They won 75 games. But Scott Rowland hit 31 homers. So here you go. Here's a good year for you. Rowland at 23 years old. It's his second big league season. Okay? He hit 290, 31 homers with 110 RBIs, and he stole 14 bases. Also walked 93 times for a 391 all-base percentage. That's his second full big league season at 23 years old. And he wasn't an all-star.
Who's
Like, get the hell out of here. How is that? How bad were those Phillies teams? Rowland was not an all-star for the first time until 2002, but he probably could have been an all-star 3 or 4 times before that.
Yeah.
Second full big league season, we hit 31 homers, 110 RBIs, 290 batting average. That's like a legit year right there. Rico Bronya hit 20 homers for us that year. Oh, man. Lieberthal's first full year as the catcher. He played 86 games. Split time with Bobby Estalella. Ruben Amaro played 92 games that year as well? Are we for real? Can he stop playing games? Let's see. Let's look at the numbers from 98. Kurt Schilling, he started another 35 games. How about this? Schilling had 15 complete games in 1998. That's unreal.
Damn.
15 complete games, and he went 15-14. 3.25 ERA. It's just unreal. 268 and 2/3 innings with 300 strikeouts. Back-to-back 300 strikeout seasons, yet he only won 15 games.
So Nick Williams' promotion, since Howie Kendrick went down with that hamstring injury.
Right.
So they sent Howie Kendrick to the DL and brought up Nick Williams.
Interesting. So it's obviously it's not going to be.
I think he's going to play tonight too.
Well, let's hope. He should play tonight. Why wouldn't he not? Why would he not play tonight?
I don't know, Zach, because it's the goddamn Phillies. We don't know what the hell's going on anymore.
Here you go. The 99 team was 77 and 85, but really probably should have been closer to 500. They had a lot of injuries. The 99 team was had a winning record. I think they were in second place in the NL East at the All-Star break.
What was it? Was it the first year or second year we got Roy Halladay? Remember we were 13 games back out of first place with the Braves?
Yeah.
We came storm back and
with 13 games back. We were
we were like 13 games back.
Not the first year with Halladay. We dominated.
It was
the
like the second year, right?
No, we dominated the division. In 07, we were like a long way back of the Mets.
Are you sure?
Yes. Yeah, we were the dominant team. By the time we had signed Halladay, we ran away with the division.
That 1-2 punch with him and Cliff Lee.
See, this will give you an idea for why. Think about how this 99 team overachieved, but look at the young talent and look at how good of years a lot of these guys had. Lieberthal in 99 was an all-star, played 145 games. Had to have been on steroids, but who cares? 145 games as a catcher, you're roiding up. He hit 31 homers, hit 300 batting average. Rico Bronya hit 24 homers that year with a 278 average. Alex Arias played 118 games that year at shortstop. Oh, yeah, that's because Desi Relaford sucked ass. Alex Arias off the bench hit 303. That's impressive. Rowland actually had a down year. He played in 120. See, this is what I meant. Remember 99? I said they were winning at the All-Star break. Then Rowland got injured. He only played 112 games. Still at 26 homers. 26 homers in those 112 games. So imagine if he plays a full year there. He could hit 35 bombs. He hit 268.
That's crazy.
Yes. So I'm telling you, Rowland early in his career was still only 24 years old that year. He was a legit player.
Then that shoulder injury came along.
The shoulder injury really derailed his career.
Yeah.
Abreu,
I think without that shoulder injury, I think Scott Rowland is a Hall of Famer.
I mean,
borderline Hall of Famer.
He's in the conversation. It's hard to think that, I think he could have probably hit close to 100 more homers. Mm-hmm. Instead of having 320 career home runs or whatever, or 310 career homers, he has, maybe 400.
Yeah.
But I mean, the guy definitely, and who knows, if he's healthy, how much longer he can play. He might play a few years longer too.
Yeah.
The guy could always really flat out hit. And then obviously he was a great athlete that could play. He was 6'4" and like 220 pounds.
Yeah.
Played third base, just this big, impressive athlete. And really, like, he was the first of a start, like Rollins, Utley, Howard. Roland was the first of those kind. Burrell. Roland was the first of those kind, like, to come up through our system, to be an impact player.
Yeah.
Like, he was an impact player from the jump coming up through our system. And, he really, like, what he did at a young age, the power defensive combination that he was. I remember because I was a little kid, he was my favorite player. I love Scott Rowland.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate because I kind of hated him for a little bit because I blamed him for, like, him getting traded to St. Louis, although, there was a lot that, obviously that was all Philadelphia's fault. Philly actually offered them. How about this for how broken that relationship was? After the 2001 offseason, the Phillies offered Rowland like a 10-year, $120 million deal, and he turned it down. And he later went on to sign like a 7-year, $128 million deal or something like that with the Cardinals. But, like, they offered him a 10-year, $120 million deal. I would have thrown all types of money at. I mean, I would have been like, here's 10 years and $180 million. Turn that down. Here's 10 years and $150 million. If not for anything else, just because it proved a point at that point that this is the first guy to come up through your system with a significant impact. He won Rookie of the Year. He's hitting 30 home runs when he's healthy.
Yeah.
Winning Gold Glove awards and
At
shit.
that, he's like a 2-time, 3-time All-Star.
He should have been. He wasn't because we just weren't a good enough team. He wasn't getting the recognition. Philly didn't get the recognition that they did, so fans didn't know who he was. But it at least it set the example of we're committed to winning. We're signing a guy that's our best player long term. It's proving that we're committed to winning going forward. And really, when you think about it, why couldn't you sign him long term? I mean, yeah, I understand there was a broken relationship. Part of that was on Rowland, but part of the reason there was a broken relationship was on the Phillies organization too. So if you found a way to fix that relationship and you're able to sign Rowland, and it proves that point of we're committed to winning. Now guys like Rollins is coming up, shortly afterwards.
And you have Utley coming up,
Utley's coming up shortly afterwards. Hamels is coming up shortly. It makes that statement of, look how good we're going to be. Yeah. We're committed to winning. We just signed a young kid long-term.
In the next 3 to 4 years, we're contenders.
We're committed to winning. We're going to be contenders here in a few years. Maybe you're able to attract some better free agents than the guys you did.
Yeah.
It's just he was one of the few impact players we had at that. Maybe the only impact. Like, Abreu was a nice young player. Mm-hmm. Rowland was an impact guy.
Yeah.
But in 99, you see a lot of guys overachieve. I mean, look at the numbers they put out. Abreu hit 335. Bobby Abreu hit 335 and walked over 100 times as a 25-year-old second-year full-time player. He hit 335 that year, and he stole 27 bases.
He was a good player, man.
To go along with his 20 homers.
He was a good player.
I think he was on roids the entire time, but again, I don't care. I mean, everybody was. That was 99 for you. Everybody was on steroids. But yeah, he was. He was a selfish player, though. That was his problem. He cared more about his numbers than he did about winning.
Who doesn't, though?
Doug Glanville had a phenomenal year. Doug Glanville hit 325, struck out only 82 times, had over 200 hits. Stole 34 bases. How about Glanville stole 34 bases, only was caught stealing twice? Talking about underrated players. I'm telling Doug Glanville was an underrated player for a few years on this team.
Wish we had some of that
anytime you have 200 hits and 30 stolen bases, that's a good year. Mm-hmm. And he hit 325 on top of it. I'd take Glanville as like my outfielder instructor all day. Yeah,
any day of the week.
It's like crazy.
I think
that team they definitely overachieved. That team came back. That team beat the Yankees. The Yankees were the defending World Series champs and had won 2 out of the past 3 years, 96 and 98. And they came to the Vet in 99, and there was like 40,000 people at the Vet for this 3-game series against the Yankees. And it was like the most exciting I had seen like Philly about baseball in like a few years. And the Phillies had this like crazy comeback in 99 in the one game of that series against the Yankees. It was just so exciting and incredible to watch. They had this performance against David. They had like a 9-run half inning. It was the biggest half inning in like 2 decades or whatever for the Phils. It was crazy. Like, it was against the defending World Series champs, and at that time everybody loved to hate the Yankees.
Yeah.
And Jeter was young and just like amazing at that time, and you just remember watching him like, this kid's gonna have a brilliant career.
Derek Jeter.
99, you're like, this kid's gonna have a brilliant career. That was an understatement. He's like, yeah, brilliant career. Yeah, he'll be the face of baseball for the next decade. He took the torch from Griffey and became the face of the game.
I remember, what was it? I think the Phillies were playing the Mets that one year. It was like 2000.
Here you go. How about, I talk about overachieving.
Man, I forget what year.
Paul Bird. You have no idea who Paul Bird even is, do you?
No.
He won 15 games for the Phillies in 99 in 32 starts. In 199 and 2/3 innings, he nearly struck out 200 batters. He was this, he nearly pitched 200 innings, I mean. He was this, like, submarines, like, sidearm style guy, and he was an all-star that year. And part of the reason the Phillies weren't better than they were that year, they were close to a 500 team, is because Schilling he only started 24 games. He was hurt. And still had 8 complete games and 1 shutout and threw 180 innings, but just he wasn't the same guy that he had been when he was healthy. I mentioned Chad O.J. He had a 5.63 ERA. He was just fucking terrible. Randy Wolf made his debut, though, that year. And I talk about Randy Wolf being a good lefty for a few years there early in his career. Mm-hmm. Randy Wolf threw 121 and 2/3 innings his rookie year and had 116 strikeouts. Walked way too many batters. Walked 67 guys. But, it was... We had a lot of injuries. I don't know. I think this team in some ways is worse. I think those teams in some ways were worse. You know what I mean? It's really one of those things where there's you could pick things on both teams, from both eras, and make the argument that era was worse.
Yeah, was a lot of bad Philly teams.
Yeah,
like that 1930
ugliness.
to 1945.
Part of the reason that made the late '90s so ugly was the fact that the vet was just ugly at that point. It's like, so that didn't help. Now you can watch this shitty Phillies team and go to Citizens Bank Park, and at least you'll have a good time at the stadium.
Yeah.
Like then, it was, forget having a good time at the vet. There was a jail in the basement of the vet for a reason.
Yeah.
There was no such thing as a good time at the vet. People were
the
starting
700 level.
People were starting fights in the stands because that was more entertaining than the actual action going on the field.
Yeah. And the Eagles actually played in the vet too before they got the link. So they both shared stadiums.
Yeah, well, the courthouse was more the basement of the vet for football season, not really baseball season. But obviously it was still functioning during baseball season. This is the Rundown, a2dradio.com. We're going to take a final commercial break here on the Rundown. Maybe come back with a little bit of Sixers talk, or maybe the next prospect that you want to see up here for the Phillies, and then wrap it up with some Sixers talk. So I try to, Ralph, help me out here. Talk about something.
Well, I think the next prospect before we come back to break, I think the next prospect I want to see is, I think JP should be up here over Freddie Galvis, but that's just me. I take that to my grave any day of the week. But, Nick Williams should play tonight. I think Howie Kendrick is going to the DL, so that's one of the moves that the Phillies made today. So Howie Kendrick's going to the DL. Nick Williams is up. So hopefully Nick Williams has a great game tonight. He actually can stay out with the club. Probably not, though.
Let's hope he just does something exciting.
Yeah.
With our luck, he'll pull a Dustin Fowler and he'll blow his patella tendon out in the top of the first inning.
Maybe he can be our Aaron Judge.
He'll take a fastball to the face and break his jaw on his first pitch he sees.
It'll be exciting, though. I hate to say it.
That's how positive this season's going.
Yeah.
The Rundown, a2dradio.com. We're brought to you by Soap Stash. Treat your skin with the best nutrients. Feel clean with the only soap you'll need, the highest grade. Carrier oils are ingrained in all of their products, 100% natural. Contact Soap Stash today for your sample package. Give your woman what she deserves. Contact Soap Stash 844-890-3197. Visit their website, soapstash.com. Go to their Facebook page, Soap Stash LLC. Soap Stash, the new soap. Standard.
You're listening to the worldwide leader of Real Talk, A2DRadio.com.
A2DRadio.com is sponsored by the Sports Outlet for all your sporting needs. Located 703 Black Horse Pike in Glendora, New Jersey. Give them a call at 856-939-2030 or email them at sportsoutletnj@comcast.net or visit them on the web at www.sportsoutletinc.com for all your sporting needs. The Sports Outlet.
A2DRadio.com is proudly sponsored by Gibson Mayor, LLC Certified Public Accountants. Gibson Mayor, located in Yardley, PA, is a leading accounting and business consulting firm with a proven track record of handling critical issues with expertise across many different industries, including construction, distribution, hospitality, manufacturing, real estate, service trades, merchandising, professional services, and professional athletes. Give them a call at 215-369-3300. That's 215-369-3300. Your initial consultation is always free, and if you tell them that Tom and Mike from AM and the PM sent you, you'll receive 15% off all income tax services completed by February 15th. That's Gibson Mayor, LLC Certified Public Accountants, 215-369-3300. 3300 or visit them on the web at www.gibsonmayor.com. That's gibsonmayor.com.
Hey, do you need to get your skills in shape? Then contact the Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com. John Scanzano offers individual, semi-private, and team training lessons in hitting, pitching, catching, outfield, along with turf rentals. The Scanzano Sports Center is equipped with a 31,000 square foot indoor facility, 4 batting cages, and a 4,000 square foot strengthening and conditioning room. So what are you waiting for? Contact the Scanzano Sports Center today.
The Rundown, only on A2DRadio.com. Welcome in to the worldwide leader of what? Real Talk, A2DRadio.com.
Hey, do you need to get your skills in shape? Then contact the Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com. John Scanzano offers individual, semi-private, and team training lessons in hitting, pitching, catching, outfield, along with turf rentals. The Scanzano Sports Center is equipped with a 31,000 square foot indoor facility, 4 batting cages, and a 4,000 square foot strengthening and conditioning room. So what are you waiting for? Contact the Scanzano Sports Center today.
A2DRadio.com is sponsored by the Sports Outlet for all your sporting needs. Located 703 Black Horse Pike in Glendora, New Jersey. Give them a call at 856-939-2030 or email them at sportsoutletnj@comcast.net or visit them on the web at www.sportsoutletinc.com for all your sporting needs. The Sports Outlet.
A2DRadio.com is proudly sponsored by Gibson Mayor, LLC Certified Public Accountants. Gibson Mayor, located in Yardley, PA, is a leading accounting and business consulting firm with a proven track record of handling critical issues with expertise across many different industries, including construction, distribution, hospitality, manufacturing, real estate, service trades, merchandising, professional services, and professional athletes. Give them a call at 215-369-3300. That's 215-369-3300. Your initial consultation is always free, and if you tell them that Tom and Mike from AM and the PM sent you, you'll receive 15% off all income tax services completed by February 15th. That's Gibson Mayor, LLC Certified Public Accountants, 215-369-3300. 3300 or visit them on the web at www.gibsonmayor.com. That's gibsonmayor.com.
You're listening to The Rundown, only on A2DRadio.com.
This is The Rundown, A2DRadio.com. Zach Barr, Ralph Dellavecchio, having depressing conversations about Phillies baseball. We did find out Grandma Dellavecchio, she lived through, and got to watch the 30s and the 40s, which was probably, without argument, the worst Phillies teams that have ever existed. I mean, they were historically bad for 5 or 6 years there during that time. And you said Grandma's favorite player was Richie Ashburn and guys like that. She remembers those really bad teams. So, we took those teams out of the equation because me and Ralph have obviously never seen or heard of even most of the players on those teams. Obviously, I know of Richie Ashburn, Johnny Callison or whatever his name was, who played with Dick Allen and guys like that. But, that's – so Grandma, she's really feeling. You say she still watches every night.
Yeah.
And that's probably why, because this is nothing to her compared to what she went through in 1939.
True, yeah.
Or 1942,
Or like movie theaters were, 5 cents to see a movie, too.
She probably got some stories.
Yeah.
I want to hear her best Philly story, her best Philly sports story. She remembers the 48 NFL championship game and stuff. She probably remembers the blizzard that happened that day when what's his name had to take 3 cabs and a bus or whatever it was to just get to the stadium. The running back did. Not Van Buren. Who was our other guy?
Yeah. I know who you're talking about. I forget, though.
Yeah, where the Eagles won the championship 7-0 that year in a snowstorm.
Yeah.
Nobody even thought they were going to play the game.
Championship.
In 1948, I believe it was, or 49. Yeah. They weren't. Nobody even thought they were going to play the game. It was snowing so bad.
And she's pretty much seen everything, from the worst to the to the best.
She was probably at that game. Was Grandma Delavecchio sitting in like the 700 level of Connie Mack's, or not Connie Mack? Where'd they play at? They played at the same place that Penn football plays at now, Franklin Field.
Yeah,
sitting at the up in the
the nosebleeds.
The nosebleeds of Franklin Field. I feel like that's a story we'd get from Grandma.
Yeah.
So you think Pete Mackanin will not be the manager next year? That's what you've gone on record as saying, right?
It's hard to say because, like you said, they signed him to a 2-year, but that the second year is an option though to keep him around. I think he stays for one more year. I think he just needs a better staff around. I think the biggest thing the Phillies need to change is the bullpen. You need bullpen guys. I mean, how many times had the Phillies gone into the 6th, 7th, 8th inning with a 2-run lead, a 4-run lead, and then just blew it in that 7th, 8th inning because there's nobody in the back of the bullpen that can shut down a game. Sorry, but if you have a strong bullpen, you win more games than you lose.
You want to see Vince Velasquez in the back end of that bullpen once he's back off the DL?
Well, honestly, I don't think Vince Velasquez is a starter anyway. I think he can fit in the setup or closer role.
I think he's got great stuff, which makes it an easy translation to the closer role. He throws too many pitches at this moment to be an effective starter. But all that stuff that's already electric becomes even more electric if he's in the back end of the bullpen. Mm-hmm. That 97, 98, becomes touching triple digits.
Yeah.
You gain a couple miles per hour of velocity once you go from throwing 100 pitches in a game to 25.
Yeah.
Once you go from throwing 7 innings every 5th day to now you're throwing an inning or two. Maybe every in a 5-day stretch you're throwing 2-3 innings. I think he'd be the perfect option for the back end of the bullpen, and we don't have anybody pitching well back there that would make me decide against it. So that's the role I'm really hoping I see him in once he comes back, and at least maybe then we'll get some we'll be a little bit more excited about the potential of this bullpen. But guys like Hector Neris and guys like that are just terrible.
They're just a guy.
He's
He's just a guy in this league.
He's just bad.
Phillies need to do something, though, I'll tell you that.
Joaquin Benoit, who's like 45 now, and, guys like that. I mean, how will
we need Brad Lidge back. Somebody call Brad Lidge.
I mean, Brad Lidge might as well be on this team, for God's sakes. Is Jose Mesa coming back, too? How about Billy Wagner? He can still probably pitch.
Probably.
Better than half these guys in the bullpen.
Bring all 3 back. There you go. Get 7th, 8th, and 9th.
Steve Bedrosian, is he still available?
There you go.
He could probably still get it up there. I'll take Mitch at this point. At least it'll be exciting, falling off the mound. Ricky Botalico, I mean, hell, he's does a good enough job on Phillies post-game live. Hell, can we bring him in? He was an all-star for us one year.
He's jacked up still. He's good to go.
He looks like he could play right now.
Yeah. Anybody out there willing to help this Phillies team, just call. Jim Thome, you out there, buddy?
Tommy's enjoying his life, probably in Cleveland or wherever the hell.
Bring back Charlie Manuel.
Charlie Manuel's an advisor on this team.
Yeah, bring him back as a manager. There you go.
Yeah, that'll be lovely.
You want to
There you go. You fire Mackanin and we bring back Chuck. Make everybody.
At least he won you games. You freaking won a World Series.
I don't even know what to say to you at this point. So I mean, I'm not like Mackanin does not excite me because I don't feel like he's the guy that's going to be the manager of this team in 2 years. Come 2019, he's not the manager anyway. Mm-hmm. I personally feel like he's holding Mickey Morandini's spot. I think Morandini might be the guy that's the future manager of this club. Because I think Morandini's probably a big league manager at some point, if he wants to be. So I don't think Mackanin's here more than a couple years anyway. But if you're going to fire him now and say the plan is Morandini might be that guy in a few years, just hire Morandini now as the replacement. Fire him, put Morandini into the role, let him grow with the team. If we like the idea of the AAA guy, Dusty Wathan or whatever his name is, that Wathan, I think is how you pronounce it, Dusty Wathan or whatever.
Yeah.
However you pronounce his name, he's been the manager at the AA level, the AAA level. He's been with a lot of these young kids, and we're thinking these young kids are going to be up here playing, so it makes sense to promote him as the manager. Okay, I'm okay with that idea too. Mm-hmm. Listen, there's probably some people out there, a lot of people out there that aren't okay with a guy like Ron Washington or Ron Gardenhire I'm okay with those two names.
Yeah.
Two proven guys that at least maybe, they could come and look what Bud Black has done going over to Colorado. Bud Black didn't have a lot of success in San Diego, rarely any at all, actually. But he's come over to Colorado where there's actual talent. Yeah. And you've seen that he understands how to manage personalities, how to manage, grown men in that club. And that club's got similar talent to what they had a year ago. The difference is they're more prepared to win. It seems like on a daily basis. Guys that have managed in this league forever and ever. That I guess there's an organization factor that goes into it. They get guys focused on that same goal. Let's go out there and be focused all on one goal, and then they just throw them out there and let them play. And when you got the talent, you're seeing what's happened out in a place like Colorado. An interesting name, maybe Mike Scioscia, since Klentak was in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Scioscia, has won a World Series. That's an experienced name. I'm sure Phillies fans would love it because of the Mike Trout connection. They'll be convinced if Scioscia is the manager that Trout will sign here or get traded here or whatever.
Just trade for Trout.
Give up all of our prospects for Mike Trout right now. You want excitement. That's what you do.
I'll do it.
I'll do it right now. Yeah, it'll be the most exciting thing that's happened to this team in a long time.
Freddie Galvis for Mike Trout straight up.
It's like there's nothing you can do with nothing you could do except laugh at that one. I mean, take Galvis. You can take all of them.
Tommy Joseph too.
But Tommy Joseph. He'll replace Albert Pujols. We'll give you up and Knapp to go play catcher.
And here's $5 million in cash.
Take Alfaro. Take Nick Williams. Take J.P. Crawford.
Yeah. LAX.
I'll literally,
LAX,
if it's Klentak, I'll send them like a roster sheet. Yeah. Be like, pick like anybody. Like nobody's off limits. You can have all of them. Pick 10. Just pick 10 names. You want Franco? That's cool. Fine. Franco, Herrera. Actually, you know what? This city might be, the fan base will really love it. You guys, you want them in that deal? Cool. Yeah. They'll love the fact that they're involved in that deal. Hell, you know what? We're even adding in, we're adding in wives at this point. Pick the players that you think have the hottest wives if that does it for you. Oh, that's cool. Whatever. Take them all.
Throw the whole,
Put some asses in the seats. It'd be the most exciting thing this team has had in a long time. Yeah, why not? Who cares? Is there really a chance that any of these players that are coming up through our system will end up being anywhere near as exciting as Mike Trout has been?
Yeah.
They might be good players. None of them are going to be Mike Trout. We've talked about the fact that it's scary that Aaron Altherr has probably been the best player on this Phillies team. He's hitting .285 with 13 homers. He might be the all-star. He might be the lone all-star for this team.
Christ. Won't play until the 8th inning.
I mean, at least he's worked on developing his game. I mean, they changed around his whole swing and his whole offensive approach in spring training. And he took everything that they said. He's worked on everything, and it's benefited him for the better. Meanwhile, they've been trying to get Franco to not swing from his heels pretty much for the same amount of time. I remember Matt Stairs have been telling Franco since spring training, I don't ever want to see your helmet come flying off the side of your head. Yet every time Franco swings and misses, his helmet is still coming flying off the side of his head. As a guy that hasn't changed his approach a lick.
Nope.
From where it started when he came up to the big leagues. And I like Franco. I would like for him to be, I think he's got potential to be a 35 home run guy in this league if he figured out how to improve his approach a little bit. But as of this moment, he hasn't shown what it takes to be able to change that approach to be that guy.
Yeah.
How many times you see him swing at a first pitch breaking ball, breaking, to the outside part of the plate? And he swings from the heels, and his helmet comes, sideways, and
the do-rag comes off.
And you see, and he's have to adjust the helmet and everything, and retie his cleats and step back in the. We're in it's almost July.
Then Herrera's over here.
How have you been doing that for 3.5 months?
Herrera lays down the bunt bat flips.
Well, Herrera's running through stop signs. I mean, that's really the frustrating part about Herrera is because I don't know what the hell I just called him. O'Hara? He's not Irish. What's that? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he actually has the ability to be the spark plug that you would like a team to have except he does so many boneheaded things at times that he frustrates you.
Yeah.
He runs through a stop sign. Then he gets picked off third base and then second base in consecutive nights. And it's not like he gets picked off by anybody. It's Yadier Molina who's been doing this for a decade. That's what Yadi does. Like, he looks for you to be too
He's
low.
the master at
He
it,
looks
too.
for you to be too far off the bag. He'll catch you lurking, then he fires the throw down there and you're caught nap and you're done.
Yeah.
2 consecutive nights. Like, that's frustrating. I don't know who's the more frustrating player at the moment, Franco or Herrera. Herrera's probably playing at a higher level right now, but at the same time, he probably does more frustrating things.
Yeah.
Who's frustrates you more?
Probably Herrera, to be honest. I mean, how many times can he run through a stop sign?
Well, things like that should never happen. But then,
Baseball 101.
but I personally don't mind. Like, I know a lot of people hate bat flips. Like, I love when he hits a double to the wall and he flips his bat as if he just hit a home run to win the World Series. Like, that's him. That's what that's what. Yeah, I know because you like it. I know you're going to jump in here.
Guy. Nah, and I know you get it, and I know you get it, Ralph. But dude, it's the way Latino ball players play the game.
Watch the World Baseball Classic.
Yeah, I mean,
if you watch the World Baseball Classic this offseason, that's the Puerto Rico teams, the Dominican Republic teams. That's what those guys were. That's
it's all passion.
That is the passion they play the game with. I just don't understand why it bothers people to the core so much. Like, there's so many people that see a bat flip, and next thing you know, all of a sudden that's their least favorite player in baseball now.
It's triggered.
You know what I mean? They're like, I can't stand this guy. This guy is a complete crumb now in my book. What is going on in your life where this type of shit bothers you to the core so much that this is now how it has affected you?
It's like a bat flip triggered.
Yeah, exactly. People are triggered. They get triggered by this stuff. That's the right word. That's the word that gets thrown around now a lot for this type of stuff. It's ridiculous. I'm not bothered by it.
Yeah.
That type of stuff in the right sense can be entertaining. That's a guy that could be a spark plug for your team. You hate that guy if he plays for somebody else, but you love him if he's on your team. He's a spark plug if he's on your team.
Herrera?
Yeah. I mean, Victorino was that guy for us when we were winning World Series. He was a spark plug that was kind of, he was that guy at the top of the lineup. He was real emotional and had that type of stuff going on. Hell, he got thrown out from center field by Ed Rapawano one game for arguing balls and strikes from center field. Mm-hmm. That's how passionate this guy was. Yeah. We love Victorino here. I think Herrera could be that type of guy on a championship caliber team. He just has some things, mentally, some mental lapses at times in his games that he needs to work on.
Yeah.
But that comes back to the changes we talked about with the coaching staff. If guys like Juan Samuel and guys like that can't get that through to him, who will?
Is he coachable?
Right. Who
That's
will?
the big question. Is he coachable?
Or is that just always going to be a part of his game, the mental lapses?
The big question is if he's coachable.
Yeah,
can you coach the guy?
There's a lot of guys that aren't coachable at the big league level, but a guy like him on a team where, say if he was on that 08 team, that 09 team, he's we view him as a lot more valuable.
There's no leader in the locker room.
Well, right. See, that might be a really good point right now.
There's no leader in the locker room.
We talked about it earlier. Freddie Galvis is considered the leader in that clubhouse.
Who can sit him down and tell him set the kid straight?
I mean, Larry Bowa's in that clubhouse, though. Juan Samuel's in that clubhouse now. Yeah, okay, so why is he the bench coach?
Nobody listen to because he's the bench coach. That's why.
So why is he the bench coach if nobody's listening to him?
Andrew Knapp, that's the only person that's listening to him.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I feel like Herrera I can work with because he gets hot, and then at times, he looks like a really good hitter at times. And right now, Franco, I have more problems with because I just don't feel like he's making the adjustments necessary to be the player he could be.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, with all the young kids you have in your system, you don't need a guy like that going forward. Bring up a Kingery, and let him play, and let him play second base and put Cesar Hernandez at third then. Since Hernandez can play third and he's at least hitting at a clip that'll keep him in the lineup. There's no reason to keep a guy like Franco in this picture going forward of you're trying to figure out the young players that you want to be a part of this core. I can deal with the mental lapses, the bat flips, things like that are considered frustrating. I can deal with those things. I can't deal with you not getting better because as a player you're holding yourself back because you don't want to make adjustments for one reason or another. Mm-hmm. Dominic Brown was that guy.
Yeah.
don't be that guy. Right now, Markelle Franco's being that guy.
We'll see how it pans out tonight if Nick Williams can.
I want all these guys up. Nick Williams is the start of it. By like August 1st, all these guys need to be up. After the All-Star break, if they're not all up, I'm losing my mind. Then it's call-out time. I'm calling out the entire organization. This has been the Rundown, a2dradio.com. We're both in agreement a lot of changes need to be made. Mackanin could be on the hot seat. I think the second half's going to play a big part in that. Gotta at least, you got to be better than you were in the first half. Got to see some promise in the second half with these young kids once they're up here, I think, for him to keep his job. I think Mackanin's safe at the moment. I just don't know what changes you can make there. Then you're kind of giving up on the process. So hopefully we get Nick Williams tonight. Big MLB debut. Yeah. Hopefully we get some excitement. You know, make it exciting to watch Phillies baseball again. Because I need something. This has been the Rundown, a2dradio.com, brought to you by BMW of Atlantic City, BMW of AtlanticCity.com, 6037 Black Horse Pike, Egg Harbor Township, 609-568-9200. Also brought to you by Gibson Mayor, LLC, certified public accountants at 301 Oxford Valley Road in Yardley, Pennsylvania, 215-369-3300, GibsonMayor.com. Goodbye, everybody.